Whoa, everybody, welcome back. It's Awestruck Comics Podcast. It is Rob's on vacation, so I'm all out of sorts. I'm all out of sorts,
But I'm
completely out of
back.
sorts.
I'm back, and it
Back,
is
baby.
time to news it up.
Yeah, we gotta jump into it. We're gonna do lots of things, but like, comment, subscribe, get the need a subscriber base up. Our views are good. Our upload time is good, but we just gotta get our subscriber base up. That's our biggest challenge right now.
Yep.
So
We have
we're
to
gonna
keep the
get it.
people entertained. Are you not entertained? My mic keeps falling. Not as bad as yours, but
That's right.
what you up to, Mark?
So this was on this week. I'm going through the Creators Universe card spotlight. So this was the Intrepid by Dave Johnson, who
And you
I
have this
posted
where?
this Instagram, idiosyncratic Pulp on Instagram. Uh, and I figured out
Look, I liked it. That means I went on Instagram,
you did it.
which I rarely ever do.
But the good thing with this is that I figured out. So for people who have trouble with their iPhones and that your iPhone's trying to help you and all that. So if you do take pictures and you want it to upload to Instagram and you want it on the HDR when you put it in the hyper and the dynamic range and it doesn't change it after I post it. I was struggling with that for like a week or two.
The
Turn your
struggle, the
low
struggle is
battery
real.
off. Yeah, it is. But I like the way that these that they come. It's like a hyper, like that looks good. You know what I mean? Listen,
No, that was real good.
photographing chromium is hard. Photographing is really hard. And then photographing these foil cards. These are almost like these rainbowish, all American.
They look good because what I would do, what I'm going to do, is I want to scan my Creators Universe card series.
Mhm.
So like maybe I'll have like two files. Like here's the scan, super detail, and then here's Mark's picture because you're actually putting time and effort into these pictures.
Yeah,
Sometimes your pictures almost look better than a scan. Mind you, my
yeah,
scanner's like 10 years old.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of it is just really, really messing with the levels and stuff. I mean, that's kind of the fun part. And I really go back to like what was it what was the last Daniel book called? The
The
that Chip
the the,
Kid did.
the, the Marvel one or
No, didn't he do ones the DC ones? Yeah, like
the
Superman,
Superman,
Batman.
Batman, Wonder Woman.
Hmm.
Yeah, I forget what they're called, but they're
Yeah,
great
but
books.
the photographer who worked with Chip Kidd on that's like who I didn't know it until I looked at one recently. I'm like, oh, this is what I try and do all the time. I try to have it like in the dark almost, and because he would take pictures of like a Batman, toy,
Yes.
and it was just like awesome. It was always like this really cool nostalgic thing. And a lot of it was Chip Kidd directing the photography, but that photographer is like who was kind of my inspiration. A lot of this stuff here. But Dave Johnson, he reposted the story when I had this on the story. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, these are the next. These are all the incentives. Cully Hamner next, and Jake and Mike Zek.
You
Uh,
know, we
Pretty
run
cool.
into some of these people. I think now that we're actually having interest in this, and like I said, we might do a whole episode about this. Creator Universe cards. We need to start asking we need to start talking to him. We talked to Dave Johnson last year, and now we're going to like, hey, Intrepid, do anything with him?
Was there
Can
anything in
can
the
we
drawer?
can we do something with him? Because I would
Right,
love a Creators Universe comic series. I wanted it back then. I want it now.
right.
Awestruck Comics. We're going to do it. We're going to do
Yeah,
it. We're going to make it happen.
yeah. It's curious. I mean, I with a lot of this stuff, like I wonder if there's a drawer of something. Was something started? You know what I mean? Was it just literally character sketch? Is this the only character sketch? Do you have any more character sketch? You know what I mean? Like there, it could
Did
be
you?
a good.
Is this a high school character that you created your own comic? That's what I want to see. Give me Dave
Right,
Johnson's 16-year-old in high school Intrepid comic,
right.
or is this just all something he came up with recently? Is this a Marvel character that he pitched? Like, hey, can I put this guy in? Or Jim Lee, hey, can I put this guy in Wildcats? We don't know.
Well, Super Patriot, like a few different times, was almost in Marvel. He was almost an X Factor in Eric
Right.
Larson's X Factor.
And he was almost in Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
Marvel tried, I don't know if they sued Larson or they just tried to threaten him. He put a character with a fin in his Spider-Man Wolverine story in Marvel Comic Presents. And Marvel's like, oh, you can't do Dragon because you put him right here in this comic. But the guy, like, he's got a fin a little bit similar to Dragon. It's
Mhm.
just a fin on his head. But he's got like a weird fin mustache. It's not Savage Dragon in any way. But
Right.
Larson could have put it in there as like a joke.
Yeah, it's gray. I
Marvel
get
was
it.
real. They were real bitches. Like
They
when
didn't
the
like
when the Image
stuff.
guys left.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, and we talked about this in the past, the Image guys didn't want to leave Marvel. Marvel forced them out once they left. Like they
Right.
left, but they wanted to leave with the door open. Like, hey, Liefeld didn't want to leave X-Force. He wanted to keep plotting it and do covers for him. Larson had a Nova miniseries in the works. Valentino did not want to leave Guardians of the Galaxy. They fired him off that book because he helped form Image, a book that was going up in sales the entire time he was doing it.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Marvel
I
was
would like to see that. I feel like they did leave him for a while because I feel like they didn't feel that his work was technically. It could have just been from characters. Maybe, maybe not. I have to look at the chronology of it because I feel like they did leave him on there for a long time.
who,
Um,
Valentino.
yeah,
Well,
more
he
so
he
than
created the book.
right,
It
right.
was his idea. He brought him back. He created an entire future universe. Like if everyone here should go read. Marvel put out some really nice omnibuses. Are they
I
omnibuses?
have
What are
not.
they of Guardians of the Galaxy? They're great. They're
Yeah,
really
they
good.
have. I want to say that they did so far. They did one epic collection. They did. I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy Classic. I think it's three trades. It's all like all the Valentino.
It's all the Valentino
Uh,
stuff.
but I got the omnibus. The omnibus is really, and usually you can get find it. I think I got it half off. I think I got it for like $45, $50, something like that. But
So
that's a great run. And I don't think if it has anything. I even have the trade because the Hunt for the Shield, I think cover is not printed in the omnibus, and um, but
they
yeah,
didn't put that.
those were really good.
I don't think they put that poster in that Liefeld inked. Liefeld
That's
inked
not in
a.
there. I own
It's a.
that poster.
It's a
Yeah,
great poster. It's original art. It's really good. But Valentino didn't like to ink his own superhero work, so he'd always. And if you look at the Guardians covers, it's Perez, Jim Lee, McFarlane, Liefeld,
yeah,
Larson,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tex. Valentino and Tex working together. Mwah.
That book's the
Like
best. Yeah, so 27. That's the best. Like that was the
Tex takes
best.
over, and you're like, yes, I love when Tex takes over. I don't even
Yeah,
want to be able to tell who that penciler is when Tex takes over. He was like,
yeah. He
he's a
was secret
stronger
weapon.
inker. He's a stronger inker than like Kevin Nolan, not skill wise, just
Yeah,
in making something his own.
I think. Yeah, I think I want to say that I think the Celtaris. I think the Ghost Rider stuff was the best because that was the Javier Celtaris like layouts, a great layout artist,
Yes.
and then just like him finishing it and then taking more and more of it over, and then I think Javier's gone. You know what I mean? And then it was like,
Well, Javier, Liefeld like not like McFarlane loved to give advice to young creators because McFarlane had a pair on him that was just ridiculous, but he had the talent to back it up. So he would tell Liefeld, "Oh, you're worth more. Ask for more money. Oh, do this, Liefeld. Oh, get your own book." McFarlane was there teaching him what to like, giving him any wisdom he had. But McFarlane also did it to Xavier Salters, and it didn't work out because Marvel didn't care enough about Salters as they did Liefeld.
hmm, okay,
So say Salters, when he asked for money, I think he got fired. And I mean, he did come back and work for him, but it was like he didn't have that push behind him like Liefeld did.
right,
And I don't
right.
know who else McFarlane talked to. I know he talked to other people, so I don't know who
I
used
think
his
I
advice and who
have.
didn't.
What was it? What was what was the company? Who published Tribe? What was their company called?
Axis.
Axis. I have Axis Zero, which has like beasties. It's like it was his
Oh yeah,
like team. It was Javier Sataris' team. There was a lot
yeah.
of people in that. Yeah, there was a lot of people that like that. I think it was like Axis number zero or something like that. I have that somewhere.
I always wanted,
Beasties.
anytime someone started their own comic company, I loved it. Even though like I would have preferred Tribe number two to come out through Image. Like years later when they started Axis, I'm like, this is cool. Let these guys do it. Let these guys show what they have. Just like Black Ball Comics, just like Full Bleed Studios.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Right.
I embraced them trying, just like Maximum Press. These guys left Image, did their own thing. What was Mike Grell's company when he did Shaman's Tears? He took that and then Bar
Oh, I
Sinister.
forget. Yeah, well, they did it through Valiant, I think, right? Windjammer.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think they did it through Valiant. I think they had
But
the stamp on that. Bar Sinister.
would it have been better if they all stayed at Image? Tribe 2 definitely would have. Tribe 2 would have sold it at probably another 800,000
It's
copies,
funny. I made a lot of money off of like uh Shaman's Tears like 0 through 17, like the whole set because you
Oh yeah, the
can't
whole
find the later issues.
no,
Went
no,
for like
it's
$50. Couldn't believe it.
I made a lot of
I
money
got them
off
for like
my
50 cents, if
I
that.
made a lot of money off my Pit set because the later Pit stuff is like super hard to find.
Yeah.
The
That
Pit
was 17
sketchbook,
issues.
yeah, Pit sketchbook really that was a lot of money. Got some really good stuff in it.
You just got it. You just got a bunch of Inside Image. You got the pit cover on that too, right?
Yeah, I love Inside Image.
Yeah.
What's funny is that like they're on somebody scanned them, put them online, you know. But like I wish somebody would scan, and this is ridiculous, Mark. I wish previews were online. I would just read previews from the 90s,
Previews, rest in
front to
peace,
back.
man. That's it. There's no more print previews anymore.
No,
It's over.
that's it. That's it.
That's
If
it.
someone ever did that collection, like I feel like the old Wizards, Heroes, Overstreet, previews, advanced catalogs, if they were online,
Somebody did Wizards up,
yeah, all of them.
all of them.
All right, that's
It's
good.
insane. That's an insane. I mean, like skip the price guides. They did the price guides too. I was like, whoa,
Oh,
like you know what I mean? I was like,
that's
that is crazy because each
that
wizard
that's
was probably 200 pages, like 130 to 100. When it first started, it wasn't that big, but
I
but
know when I like I'll scan some comics for you and me to share. Like here, and I know it takes a solid hour to scan a comic, like minimally. Like it's a slow endeavor. It's like Zen. It's like meditating for me.
mm, yeah, yeah.
But I'll
No,
I'll
I get
scan
it.
stuff just to have it.
No, I get it. Here's your
So
Supreme. So you were on vacation. You still posted every day?
I did not post Supreme every day
Oh my God.
because I forgot my password to Maximum Supreme. Like on my desktop, they're connected, my Maximum Supreme and the Rob Messick page. So I just
All
go
right.
back and forth, not a big deal. So I go away on vacation and I post the Rob Messick every day. And then like I go to post the Supreme one and I'm like, oh, I don't know my password. But like I didn't want to, I probably could have figured it out.
Mhm.
But like I was on vacation, so I didn't feel like it. If it wasn't easy for me, I didn't do it.
Right.
So I'm like,
Who
well,
colored this? Who colored this Riptide?
is it
It says
Drew?
Drew.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. He passed away like 10 years ago. He's the guy that really like probably one of the best colors to come out of. He arguably is better than Liquid guys. He colored he colored Dark Child when Maximum Press put it out, and then Randy Queen got it recolored for Image, and it just lost all the like lost a bunch of luster. Like it just whoever
Oh,
recolored it wasn't good. Not that they weren't good. Let me restate that. They weren't as good as Drew.
Mark
Um, Speaking of
Child.
which, I know this isn't news that you would cover. Randy Queen just came out of nowhere. He's like, I'm doing a new Dark Child book.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, I'll check it
Where?
out. I
When?
always liked the stuff. He's like an artist that was like fun.
Hmm.
He
Yeah.
he he like was really good with detail, and then sometimes his faces look real wonky.
Where's he putting it out? Did he mention or is
And
it
I didn't
like
mention.
yeah.
I mean, if he were smart, Kickstarter, for convenience sake, it'd be nice if it were Image. So,
Right.
but this is the Rob Messick page. I did keep up on this. Doing a cover day of Youngblood, and I'm at the end of the Roger Cruz Youngblood Volume 2. So I said, you know what, this would be a good point to get all the Youngblood miniseries out before I jump into Judgment Day and then the Alan Moore awesome stuff. So I'm like
Mm.
going through, I did the Vogue miniseries. I'm going to do the Chapel. Here I'm on Riptide. I like this cover a lot. It's fun. Riptide is probably like the
Who did
sexiest of the
miniseries?
Youngblood characters. This is
Yeah.
I feel like it was Andy Park. I forgot to look it up when I
Yeah.
posted this.
No, I think that's right. Yeah.
Andy Park did some the day before I posted this. I posted a couple of Riptide ads that were Andy Park, and it's funny because Andy Park today is known for doing most of the character designs for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. Right.
So he's super famous in that world.
He knows how to translate it to real,
Yes,
you know,
to
to
take
the
it from
concept art
comic to
for
real.
and then someone does the costume designs from that. So I
So,
think
but being on vacation, I just focused on the I had the Youngblood stuff on a file on my phone, but I didn't focus on the like normally I do other stuff. Here's a Sam Keith Wolverine. Here's a McFarlane Superman. Here's Art Adams drawing Godzilla for the. I try to find weird stuff, but since I was away, I just did this.
so this was the biggest news period. We've been talking about this for months on who is
We
taking over
we have been
Transformers.
guessing about this probably since our first episode last year.
Yeah.
Because our first episode last year, I knew that Daniel Warren Johnson was only staying on 24. So we have been guessing, and it's funny, we never guessed that Kirkman was going to take over. And what we're talking
I
about
don't
is,
think so. Yeah, I think I always said Williamson. I think I always said Williamson or,
I just thought he would find someone else, you know.
yeah.
But Kirkman has taken over Transformers with issue 25. This is really big news. He loves Transformers. I had conversations with him in person outside of New York last year about Transformers. He in Void Rivals, his other comic that he writes for Image, is always season three Transformer stuff. Hot Rod Springer.
Right.
They're creating a universe.
Rekar
Wreck-Gar, which I love.
is behind you.
That's right, Wreck-Gar, and that's important too because Mark Brooks, when Dreamwave first started doing Transformers, Mark Brooks was around doing stuff for Devil's Due and this Transformer poster book. And Mark Brooks said he's doing something in Transformers. He hasn't drawn a Transformer in like 20 years. So he's
Nice.
probably going to do a variant for this
Uh, I've
or a
never
comic.
Yeah, I never would have expected Dan Mora to jump
No,
over to this. That is a big get, dude. I wonder, I don't even understand how that's possible because, but I guess he never, I guess because he was always working in different places because when he first started doing heavy DC work, he was still working on Once and Future. So he
right.
never signed exclusive. Like we're so used to people, artists signing exclusive and then they're
Right.
exclusive for 20 fucking years. You know what I mean? They're exclusive forever. And so we're not expecting, I wasn't expecting this.
No,
So I'm fine with it. I think it's pretty crazy.
I'm
I think
totally fine with it. It is a different direction. Less
and this preview
characters
art
will
is
die.
nuts.
It's funny. Kirkman was always known for killing characters in Walking Dead and such.
Yeah.
And people always worried. People like, oh, he killed so many people in Invincible, but he never really killed people that were important in Invincible.
Mm,
But like now that he's doing Transformers, we're probably going to see less Transformer death because Kirkman loves these characters. These are important to Kirkman's heart.
right.
Like he was like every time Warren Johnson would kill someone, he'd be like, ah, did you have to? But he didn't really. He never got in the way of Daniel Warren Johnson, which is total
No,
respect to
I
that.
listen, Goldbug baby. I feel like they're gonna I feel like,
Gold gold bug it up, dude.
Goldbug. You're a
Dude, he
gold
what did he
bug.
kill? Did Bumblebee get killed the first issue?
First or second, yeah.
And like
Very
we
early.
were we were just like, oh, I guess they'll bring him back eventually. 24 issues later, no Bumblebee.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be right away.
No, no.
Uh, but I do dig that, as much as this is Dan Mora's style, and it's interesting. Like, is he doing these like shading? Like it's like pencil almost. It's interesting.
Um,
A little different than, and it's the same color, it's the same letter as Russ Wuton.
Russ Root and
Um, I can't remember who the colorist
Spicer.
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what's crazy with this is like it's like, and I always say it, it's so funny, like it immediately translated. I always say that he should be drawing like Wonder Woman because all of his like women are beautiful. You have RC right there for
He
like a second. You're like, oof. You know what I mean? Like he's just so good at drawing, you know,
My only
beautiful.
problem with these pages right now is that he just gave us plot armor for the end of Daniel Warren Johnson's run. Which is fine because I
Oh,
want Ultra Magnus
yeah.
to live. I love Ultra Magnus. He's one of the ones I had as a kid.
Yeah,
And I
he's
just
very forlorn. Like even the forlorn Ultra Magnus. But this looks like this here. This looks like it looks a little bit like Jorge Corona. Jorge Corona is doing a short story in this, probably a transition story before Mora is on. So the 25 is going to be, I believe, double sized. But so there is a Jorge Corona outro,
listen.
which is good. We said we're fine. Just leave Jorge Corona. Just leave
Yeah,
it.
we would have been fine leaving Jorge Corona. And you know
Yeah,
what? Maybe he'll be a fill-in guy.
that's fine.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's going to go do a mini series. My guess is he's just going to continue working with Daniel Warren Johnson, which is fine.
Yeah, they're gonna do another mini or something. That makes sense. So, yeah, there's your DNA. There's your Daniel Warren Johnson. That's Carl New.
It's good. These are good
Uh,
covers.
yeah. So this was made me really happy because
Yes.
this gives us a little bit of hope that if he's pulling Jay Lee in the draw this, like that Kirkman is going to next reprint Dreamwave stuff. You know what I mean? Like all your Marvel stuff's reprinted now.
That's funny.
Uh, yeah,
I
so
would
that's what
love
made me think of that. Think of his.
to me, it's just like he called Nick Bruch. He's like, "Yeah, can you let up on Jay Lee? Can I have him for a month? This is
Well,
why
it's
Jay
funny.
Lee.
I think there was something that came out that we covered. I'm like,
We
where's the Jay Lee cover? And there was
yeah,
somebody
we
else.
were
We're like, what
joking
is
last
this?
week. We're like, where's this ain't a Dynamite. You can't have a Dynamite comic without a Jay Lee variant.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so we're pretty excited about this. I'm curious, and I feel like I guess this is probably going to culminate. There's going to be a lot more immersion in between everything too, which
Yeah, it'll eventually connect in with the Void Rival stuff, and probably a little. Kirkman really wants to do all this together. I don't know if you cover it or not later. I'll just bring it up now. So the rumor is Kirkman is doing an Energon cartoon series.
okay, yeah.
Did you hear about this?
Mhm.
So it's probably going to be a cartoon series that involves both Transformers and G.I. Joe. Because
And Void
Hasbro wants
Rivals.
it, and Void Rivals.
Mhm.
So that's cool. That's really because there is no Transformers cartoon right now. They had the last thing we got was the Transformers One movie, which is a fantastic movie, and then we've had nothing. I
Yeah,
guess,
it was basically announced that they don't have enough. It didn't make enough money that they're going to do Transformers too.
but the I know the streaming numbers are really high on that movie, so
Right.
fans are still trying to push for a Transformers 2, I guess. But it's probably not going to happen for a while. They might, I mean, they might do it, or enter this, or they could go all in on Energon. Now, another bit of news, I don't know if we cover this later or not. They're trying to get the next Transformers movie made, and the original rumor was the guy who directed Rise of the Beast, I forget his name right now, he was supposed to do Transformers G.I. Joe as a movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if they hold off on that because of this Energon cartoon they want to do involving
Hmm.
Transformers G.I. Joe. They want to get it right. And then two rumors came out this week. One was that Michael Bay's coming back to Transformers. And everyone's like, it's official. It's not official yet. It's just they're
Right.
talking. And I don't want that.
Nah.
Michael Bay started it. Congratulations. You did a Transformers, five of them. I wish you would have done them differently. I don't hate the movies. I hate the last one,
Mhm.
but I just wish they would have looked more like Transformers. That's
The
just the
last
whole.
one
They
was
don't even.
what?
They barely transformed. The last night,
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I
terrible.
saw it in the movies, and I just was like, I hate it. I hate it.
I walked out. I'm like, this was horrible.
Yeah.
And I remember like at one point, this is just a stupid scientist to me. Unicron has these, has his maw. He has the two giant, mandibles, and the mandibles like are in different places of the Earth. And they're like, well, yeah, continental drift. I'm like, you fucking idiots. There wouldn't be like his mouth wouldn't change like just because of continental drift.
Mhm.
Like his mouth is still his mouth. Continental drift would happen over top of him, like it's a layer of dirt over top. Like if you want to go with the theory that Unicron is Earth, which they
Mhm.
did in Transformers Prime,
Right, right, right.
like you continental drift wouldn't affect the insides. I don't know. That movie has so many problems. So many problems.
Yeah, and no one transformed.
No one transformed. They bring Cybertron close to Earth, or like pieces of Cybertron are dragging on Earth. And like, oh, look how cool it is, piece of Cybertron dragging on Earth. No, moron. Like, you can't get something through the atmosphere without burning up. Without it was just stupid. And then you had this Quintessa, who's I guess the female version of a Quintesson,
Mhm.
and she just sucks. And Prime's evil, but they never really show him like why he's evil.
Right,
The end
right.
of four, he's like, I'm gonna find our creators, and he flies into space with those little rockets. The next movie opens up, he's just floating dead next to Jupiter. Like, did he only have so much energy? Like, why would he leave Earth with like a Jupiter level of rocket fuel?
Yeah, what did he have? Didn't he have Jetfire or something on him? Was that
No,
that one?
no, he just had
No.
boots that had rockets in the end of the fourth one.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was rough, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so much potential there. And Michael Bay just he doesn't understand the property. He understands filming action. He understands special effects. Like, you gotta give him credit on all that stuff. But like the Transformers themselves, he didn't fully ever get. But he did bring back Peter Cullen, so you gotta give him credit for that. Like,
Right, right.
I don't think Paramount wanted Peter Cullen back. They wanted Tom Hanks or George Clooney or somebody else to voice Optimus Prime, and he had the wherewithal and he had the wherewithal to bring in Frank Welker, after what's the name left?
It was on the first one. Was it not Nimoy? Oh,
Well, Nimoy played Sentinel Prime in part three,
mm,
which is only because Michael Bay's like married to his niece.
mm.
That's how like you got Leonard Nimoy to come back.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
no, what's the name from The Matrix?
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. Yeah,
Yeah.
he played Megatron in the first two, but they
Yeah.
got Frank Welker back for the third, fourth, and fifth. So,
Right, right.
so anyway, here's the rumor I want though. Even though the rumor is Michael Bay, the director of Transformers One might be doing a live action Transformers movie. And I'm like, yes, give that guy a
Oh, that's
movie
right. Yeah, that's what you told
because
me earlier. I was
right,
confused about it first.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the director of Transformers One. He's really good because like when Travis Knight did Bumblebee, what did he do before that? Hubo in a two strings,
Yeah, yeah, Kubo and two strings.
Kubo in
So
a two strings. Like he went from that to Bumblebee and did a fantastic job. In fact, we had talked about it. The Cybertron scenes in Bumblebee are like some of my favorite scenes in the Transformers
mm,
movies.
right.
So
Yeah, I
this is
think Tim
Transformers talk with Mark and Rob.
right.
We just
Yeah, I think was it Tim Miller did the Thor opening on Thor 2? The best
yes,
part of Thor 2?
it is. That's a great part. And then he does Deadpool after that.
Yeah.
Great follow up.
But I think he just does I think he produces and does some of the features in that, like Sex and Robots or something. Death Love
Yes,
Robots.
that's all him, right? So,
Yeah. Whatever
I've
that's
watched
called.
the first season of that. And I really like it. I just haven't gotten back to the next couple seasons.
So I guess, Steve McNiven's doing his tour around on big characters. But this is the first time, has he ever drawn DC stuff? Is
No,
this it?
this
So,
is it. This is it, dude. Like he's gone from Cross-gen to Marvel, psh, Marvel.
Yeah. Right. So once he finishes up the Daredevil, he's doing something here. This is a kind of a batch of Batman news here. They announced this. Well, this is like a rumor. Basically, he's going to work on some type of like Tom King, potentially one shot. But these were some photos that were up, but they weren't. These are old pictures, by the way. So
Okay.
these are all dated 16, 19, and this one's. I think there was a little thing at the bottom saying this is not new art. So, but yeah, so he's kind of doing his tour of and they all look a little different. You know,
They
this is
do.
more
That's more the
his original
traditional
style.
McNiven. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
this is just pure Frank Miller.
yeah, and
Like
that's
this is the Frank Miller that we don't have anymore.
right,
This is scary. This is like almost AI level Frank Miller. Like,
right. Because you have like the Lynn Varley like colors. This is a little bit off center, because it's more in the middle. Well, actually, this is wrong. This is different because it was the yellow in the circle, and then he just
right.
got it shot off in Dark Knight Returns.
Listen, this is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Can you imagine? Like, this is gorgeous. It's like when a Car Andrews tries to do McFarlane. Like, I'll take it. I'll take your McFarlane stuff,
yeah.
and I'll take. Is it sad at the loss of McNiven to get Frank Miller McNiven? I don't know. Is this a better? I don't know if better is the wrong word.
Well, I
He,
think it's just like the next bit. Like, I mean, I feel like if you look at Neil Adams and then you look at like Norm Brayfogle, I do think there's a bit of Neil Adams and Norm Brayfogle. So I feel like it's just the next build of.
Funny enough, you say that. Liefeld's podcast this week was mostly about Marshall Rogers and how he
Oh, okay,
inspired Norm Brayfogle, like and McFarlane. But like
right.
Brayfogle is so much Marshall Rogers.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the layouts, I think, initially are very, very much like,
Oh yeah,
Neil Adams.
everyone learned from Neil Adams. Like that's how you learn.
Yeah. Well, this is so it's weird though the DC is so pro artist in a way. They have the Batman Joker because
They
they announced this, so they have a Jim Chum and Oliver Copiel are doing something. They're doing
this
some type
is
of Batman
they are
comic.
lapping Marvel. Marvel must really be paying shit for these guys to go to DC. What's his name? Sean Gordon Murphy says that when he does Batman, Marvel can't compete,
They can't. Right, exactly. Right.
which is amazing to hear because people would leave DC to go make the money at Marvel. And
Mhm.
Mark Miller was saying, I don't understand. Like these guys should be making like $1,400 a page at Marvel, and they're not.
Right.
And he's surprised when they're not. He's like, they're not. I was making artists were making $1,400 a page 20 years ago.
Right. That's not. There's no sales for that now. Yeah, but I hear like I mean I get into some Marvel stuff later on the news that I pulled, um, but I even thought this was interesting, and I'm trying to remember what timeline this was. So
Hey,
this
Mark,
was.
just a real quick thing.
Hmm,
There's no sales for that, except for there is. Because even let's say you sell what's a average comic at Marvel? Think 30,000?
Supposedly the top end are selling 40 now, but like that's like it shouldn't be selling 40, but that's like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man selling 40,
I mean, Spider-Man selling only 40?
only 40. Yeah, that's what a couple online sources are saying. Yeah,
I thought that was still above 100. I
no,
thought Amazing was like their best-selling regular book.
mm, no.
40?
Mhm.
If that's it, but still 40? All right. 40,000 copies. What are they? $5 a piece?
Yeah,
So after printing and everything, they're making at least $2 a comic. That means they made 80 grand.
maybe.
So that's still a lot of money that you could still pay an artist. If you paid an artist $1,000 a page, which you're not, that's 20 grand. Then you're still profiting 60 grand. I mean, I know you still got to pay the writer and the colorist.
Yeah,
You know what it
that
is?
none of that.
Comics aren't made to be owned by uh, giant corporations because the money they expect to make off of it isn't realistic to how, like, if Marvel made so much money, you pay your artist so much money. I don't know. It's like trying to make profit off comics isn't great for a company, but unless you just want the IP and the content created, it's an idea farm. I get it, but like, yeah, this is a whole long conversation.
It's not gonna work. So I guess my only point on this is that they're giving, but I feel like there should be some type of writer behind some of this stuff or something like a co-scripter or whatever. Because the only thing that makes me nervous is that like that Raphael Grandpa book, which is super late, it's not done. Um, I didn't like the scripting on it, so I just didn't really resonate with it. So you're going to
But
give
it's
these
so
guys,
gorgeous.
yeah, but I mean, like, give me it's not making me it's not compelling to me.
You
But
know what?
what I didn't know this, but see, it has a typo here. But there was I guess this was like Ed Brubaker did this Batman run, then he did this detective run, and then he got fired. And I didn't know this, but apparently in a drawer somewhere that there is a issue Detective 787, which was like early Ryan Sook.
Uh-huh.
And then I found an article from 2021, which Ed Brubaker talks about. Said it was drawn by my new artist Ryan Sook, and then they put him on Hawkman instead. And like they took so it says maybe he did draw it, and then there was another thing I read that he's Ryan Sook was like I never drew that. So they think he received it, but he never drew it. So
Oh,
this just
okay.
kind of went nowhere. But you can find the outline for it online. You can find the outline for this comic online, which is pretty interesting.
Publish it.
Um, but
Make it a
this
Detective
brings
Comics
me to
annual.
this because this was announced supposed to come out last September, and they pulled this off the schedule altogether. It was supposed to come out bi-monthly starting last September, and now it's off the schedule. So
Was he
if you do
writing and drawing it?
anything, yeah, he's doing
What
everything
Mark's
this
talking
thing.
about, because hopefully we'll have an audio component to this at some point, is that Greg Smallwood was going to do a Batman the Barbarian series.
Yeah, it's great looking. Like
It's
it's
great.
awesome
That's a beautiful
looking.
cover.
Yeah, it's awesome looking. So I'm curious on this and like yeah, but just let him do this. Let him take his time, let him do this. Because I don't know if the bi-monthly really works. I don't think so. I feel like
Here's
monthly is
no
where we're
Monty.
we're used to
Here's
it.
here's the thing at DC, Mark. I think with the Warner Brothers split and James Gunn being in charge of these movies, DC's like, no, we need the best content possible because they're doing movies. All their movie slates are based off of like modern comics. So
Mhm,
like they don't mind. DC has all the attention in the room. Absolute DC Comics have like saved comic book stores, and comic stores
mhm.
say this on a regular basis. And the regular DC stuff is up in sales because people are interested in the Absolute.
Right,
So you're getting it
right.
from, so it's how Ultimate Marvel made Marvel better in the early 2000s. Like you got interested in X-Men because Ultimate X-Men brought you back to comics. Ultimate Spider-Man brought you back to comics. Let me go check out Straczynski's Amazing Spider-Man.
Mhm.
DC is there right now.
Well, it's funny, like the Elseworld stuff kind of like they went far away from it and now they're embracing it again. And that first night's getting a sequel. See that? I didn't have that in the news, but that the Perkins Jurgens, they're doing like it's not called Second Night, but something like that. The first night, which was like the 1938 Batman, which I only
Yeah.
read the first issue. I never finished it.
And
I
and
know it's in
it's really
DCI.
hardcore about where that is set, with the characters they can use, the how the characters acted after Detective 27. That's a really smart
Yeah,
book.
and Kryptonian Age like was pretty good when I read the first issue, and I know that they held it so they can like work on the second, and then like relaunch it. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
12 issues and then two storylines. Now they changed it. So
So DC, this is so much love for Batman. Everyone's doing Batman stuff, and I'm like, man, I hope we get a little bit of Superman stuff out of this. I want to see Jim Chung Superman. I want to see Mcniven Super. Like, I'm just a Superman guy. You know that.
yeah, but there was a rumor last week that there's like a Tom King like quietly Superman thing going on. I don't know if you
I didn't
saw
hear
that.
that rumor.
Yeah,
I was on vacation, so I didn't hear a lot of stuff.
yeah. So we'll
Um,
see. But this is pretty
Quietly,
fun.
ugh, I would love it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want Tom King to touch that,
I
but
know. I was holding back saying it. Like Tom King working with McNiven, I'm like, why don't you just hire who did
Charles
Charles
Soule.
Soule?
Yep.
Yeah, they just gave us the best Daredevil story in like 20 years.
And it seems to be that Charles Soule has a good
He's
because he worked with him on but Charles Soule might be maybe well now because he has image stuff,
Yeah, Charles Soule is
you know.
Marvel Image through and through.
But you also don't know like what like they could have like a half exclusivity, situation,
No, there's
you
usually
know.
carve-outs. All those guys have carve-outs for their own projects.
Right.
Even Kirkman had it, Mark Miller had it. These guys, that's fine. They don't want you to work for DC, but you can do your own thing.
Right. It's so funny. This was I think I missed the initial announcement of this, but Brusick is like I featured
Oh, we like
him.
Brusick. We were just talking
Yeah,
about him.
he liked and wrote to me on Instagram because I liked it. I put
It's
an issue
Thor.
of his Thor run,
Yeah,
yeah, that I really like. But this is kind of neat. So and again,
we
so it
brought
is
this
it
we
is
brought this
Hellboy
to fruition,
universe.
Mark.
Yeah, Captain
We
Henry in the
because
Graveyard of
because
Time.
seriously, who was talking about Bruce Sick? I hadn't heard
E80.
his name since. Yeah, no, you brought
E80.
it up on Thor.
I always, I mean, I've read pretty much everything he's done. The Zone Continuum, and there was like an Atlas book that's really good. Like I've read kind of everything that he's done. He's only done like 5 projects to be fair, and he does a lot of other stuff. But this is interesting. And Mike Mignola is writing this pure, which doesn't really happen. He's working with Christopher Golden or
Right.
Chris Roberson, some type of Chris, maybe a Sanowski. He's working with somebody. And I do like that it says, and it does. It'll be carefully put in. Oh boy, but this is like in the 1800s, so it's like okay, like
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, I just think it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you saw these, dude. Series 8. Look at these, dude. Dude, these are amazing. This is NECA Ben Cooper costume kids. My girlfriend actually sent me a picture of these, like in store. She's like, "You love these, right? Like, you must love these." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm not collecting them,
I'm
but
not collecting them, but I
I
love the
think
idea
I
that they
love the
exist.
fact that
No, it
they're
is.
here.
We love it to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That's what a
that's what
lot
we
of the toys
love.
are. A lot of the toys are, like you're just. But so what's funny about these is that these are costumes that didn't come out, basically. You know, these are costumes that because they didn't have this, but so they have a Garfield. With you can kind of almost you can like feel the way that plastic is, right? You know what I
Yes.
mean? We had stuff like that.
You just want to stick your tongue through a little slit for the mouth.
Yeah,
They don't have the mouth slit. Yo,
yeah,
hey Mark.
yeah. That's great. That's so funny. No
That's
problem. They have like his phrases on there. This is scary. Is that a little scary? I think
yeah,
that's really
that's
scary.
hilarious, dude. I'm rated. You know what's funny?
Valverde exclusive jungle tours.
You and I love the idea that there were these rated R movies, and then there'd be kids components to it, like Predator, rated R movie, Conan, rated R movie,
Toys.
RoboCop, rated R
Yeah.
movie,
RoboCop, a cartoon. You know what I mean? Like it was like
Swamp Thing, cartoon for kids. Oh, not Swamp Thing,
yeah,
Toxic Avenger.
right.
Like,
Yeah, like how did you watch this? Yeah. But even like all the like the just everything about this, like up and down is, you even have like the Gary Panter art on here,
yeah,
the Jim Davis art. Like they have like a cartoon character of the Jungle Hunter Predator, which is really funny. Two masks for the Predator, which is pretty awesome. So these I think are like $20 or something like that again. And I jump right into like this is the $180 or something like that. This is the
are
Hot
you, are,
Toys
are you thinking about it?
1/16. Nah, I mean
Nah.
it's
If, would Big Money
if I
Mark
made a
buy
lot
this?
if money was no object, yes,
If
I would
Mark from
totally
would
have
Mark
this.
from 5 years ago buy this?
Probably. But
Probably. I mean, would you be allowed to buy it though? That's the other question.
uh probably not.
Ugh. W2, not cool with your comic stuff, and
No.
she wasn't bad though. She let you put stuff up,
Yeah, well, it's gone. So
but you
do
lost
I
your
want to?
soul.
A
You
little
can put
bit.
comic stuff up, but you lose your soul. That's a deal.
No, it's not a big deal. But I like this. I like the light up. I just think it's kind of crazy that I think even at the time people were like, I just want old Batman. I feel like this came out and I like the new Batman stuff, but I feel like it was always like even the same thing when they had was it
Mark.
what they had Buck Cap, right? They had Bucky Cap. Like almost immediately they're like, we're not doing this for very long. Like we all knew that there's gonna be a Cap
Listen,
movie, and they were like, it was a countdown. They had like two
comic.
storylines with Bucky Cap, and they're like, that's it. That's it.
Most of the time, comic fans are sheep. Where it goes, we hate this, we hate this. Oh, now we like them. Oh, you're getting rid of them? No, bring them back. Like
Right.
Clone Spider-Man, this Batman,
Jason Todd.
yeah,
You
Jason
know,
Todd,
kill Jason Todd.
superior
Where's
Spider-Man.
Red Hood?
Fuck,
Bring
you
Red
know what I
Hood
mean?
back.
Yeah,
Red Hood has kind of had an ongoing series in a way for like 15 years. Like he's
yeah,
had some type of through line
right.
series
And some of that
continue.
stuff is like fantastic
Yeah, a lot of it is. Yeah, a ton of it is like his like opposite world's finest book basically that he had
We
with
loved it.
Outlaws. Was it
Outlaws.
Outlaws?
Yeah, I
Right.
think it was the Outlaws. Or
Yeah.
wasn't the Outsiders. It was right.
Yeah, I think it was the
Outlaws.
Outlaws. Yeah.
Okay, that was
So
great.
yeah,
Um,
and he's getting a new book. You know.
good.
So yeah, I love this. That's
That's really
this
nice. That's a
is
really nice Asbat.
that's about $280. Woof. These were the Mayfex ones. These are also I think these are $80 a piece. So
All
these
right.
are like super deluxe, but they have three different heads. This being a very very Tom Lyle here. It's so
Yes.
funny. Like that's probably more of like a Bagley, and that's
Yeah.
more of like a Stephen Butler. So this is
Two
crazy. Like there's three different heads, and you can kind of almost pick that
for
out.
that for
But
Scarlet.
look at how good like that
Isn't it funny?
is.
Like we love. There was a book that came out. What Mark's talking about is the Scarlet Spider toy. Remember there was a book came out. We just saw all of the possible Scarlet Spider designs. I used to love that stuff. I still do.
Yeah.
Like we saw different Carnage designs, and we're like some of them were really neat looking. And we saw a book with different Scarlet Spider designs before they knew what they were doing. It's weird they went with like a hoodie over red tights.
Right,
It's
right,
just
right,
like, how did you
right.
choose a sleeveless hoodie?
Sleeveless
What
hoodie.
what a weird what a
I love
weird
it.
choice.
Yeah, this was a Mayfix Batman, which looked like it just looked really like 90s, like good posable,
Yeah.
really solid. Here's the new McFarlane's. This is your favorite, or close to your favorite. Like
Yeah,
because
that
that's the one
Marvel
you
Tales
had.
cover. Yeah, because I had that Marvel Tales cover as a kid before I even knew who McFarlane was. McFarlane, what I don't like about the McFarlane toys is they pulled back from the ink lines. Like I saw
Yeah,
Captain America at a Walmart down south over to vacation. It was like they wanted $60 for it, which is $10 more than I
right.
wanted to spend. But like I was amazed at the ink lines on it because it looks like McFarlane inked it. And this
Mhm.
toy is great, but it doesn't look like McFarlane inked it. And I don't like that.
Yeah, they went away a little further from this. This was the Tony Moore. Same thing here is like you could see the divots in there, but that's every toy, But yeah, if they put the black lines in here, that would have been better for me. You know,
Yes.
that would
Still,
have been
the
better.
really nice toy. Really nice Tony Moore from a Deadpool #1 cover from the Young run.
Is that Nick? Oh, it's actually Nick Klein. Yeah, that's Nick Klein actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but I think it looks so much like the Tony Moore, like kind of. Tony Moore had a little bit bigger, but no, it's a Nick Klein.
Well,
I didn't read that. I didn't read that
there's
wrong.
there's an
Scott
artist
Heckman.
we love, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll take it. There's a good side view.
That's
But
cool.
like that, does that mean that who drew this? You know what I mean? Like I know it's probably just like one of McFarlane's like. It would have been cool if like he talked about this. It's like, oh yeah, and I went back and drew the backgrounds because it's me. You know what I mean?
I
It's
I,
like
I wish because
he
I used to
did.
wish my wish was like McFarlane every time he does a toy, he should draw the backing for it. I remember
Right.
thinking that very early on because the first wave of Spawn toys all came with the comic, which was kind of a fun comics. John Cleary and Rob Michaels, I think, drew the Overkill comic.
Overkill.
Overt Kill.
Overkill. So I guess so this goes into Bermeo's doing 25 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. That's a lot. That's a pretty big commitment. Um, but I guess it just sets him up
So he's doing
for
25
money.
covers in a row,
Yeah, yeah. 25.
but it's not.
25 covers
Is
from
it 20? Ah, I guess they are.
in
Wow.
975 to 1000. So from 11 to 36. And I think they look really good. I think they look really good.
Yeah.
I feel like his stuff is a little ugly. It's always a little ugly, which I think
Right.
is kind of cool.
It's
Um,
so it's so 70s costume looking.
yeah, that's cool. I like the cartridges on the end, and so it's like it's
The
his
costume
version
doesn't
of it.
quite fit. Yeah, yeah. No, it's fine. It's his
The
vision.
wrinkles. Yeah, but like I guess he's not working for DC because I feel like his whole thing was he would do a DC book. I did Noel, and he did like he. I feel like he did stuff like that.
He's so good at Batman, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, so I feel like these are pretty. This is 11. Let me go back here.
His Man of Steel stuff was great too. That Man of Steel miniseries he did with Azzarello.
Yeah, I like that. Apparently, that is part of that was the Lex Luthor one. It was Lex Luthor Man of Steel,
Yeah,
right?
it was
Yeah,
Lex Luthor Man of Steel, right?
right. So I feel like I should reread that before the movie because that was in he did that one magazine where it's like these were the three stories, and it was it Birthright one? Forget. Um, yeah, Birthright I'd like to reread too.
It's good.
I like Birthright. Yeah, I wonder if this is part
This is
Photoshop
awesome.
though. Yeah, that's really cool. Look, again, this is more
I
like
hope I just want to see 25 Spider-Man villains. Give me Lee Bermejo, Electro, Lizard, Vulture, you know.
there's
There's Lizard. Ah, so
but
cool
it's
looking.
his lizard. That's what's cool about like that's what I like about this. And look, you can see like just like him just kind of being ripped up, which is also pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care if he uses some photo stuff because look at this looks really cool. Like did he go in like a sewer grate? Like what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah, that
it's
looks like he's like falling down a manhole or something.
yeah, because if you go back to this, like this
That,
looks
that was your
like
dating in the
bricks.
90s, what you say. I'm falling down the manhole, Rob.
That's correct. Thank you. Um yeah, so that's cool, but I wonder like that's I guess the only thing that I don't like about some of this stuff is that basically we won't. Not that he ever was like a full sequential guy, but that's like the Dave Johnson route. You know what I mean? Like where Dave Johnson doesn't do interiors, and then when he does interiors again, like oh, I miss him on interiors because he did a really good job when he did that when he came back to the Batman, Long Halloween, last Halloween, colon 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 colon.
Yep.
So, but here again, this is more opportunity to print extra. This is going to probably there's ratio variants. There's virgin variants of this too. Which I think you could have maybe do an art book, maybe do something. I don't know. 25 is a lot. Do an art book in a good way, get his sketches, like I don't know, just keep
Yeah,
printing money
it
for him.
it to me like give me. I don't want him to be like the new Alex Ross, but like it's neat to see something grittier than like I love Alex Ross always, but like to me this is something a little more fun at the moment rather than seeing two-thirds of someone's like bust by Alex Ross. I'd rather see a full cover. Look at this. These covers are amazing. There's so much
Yeah,
work in these
I I,
covers.
I also
Well,
wonder if like is he gonna start to put his eye bigger as he goes through the history? You
that's a
know,
great question.
yeah, that's really cool. So I would like that. And again, just having a different lizard is interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, basically we had Ditko lizard, right? And then it
You had
it,
Deku
it
Lizard
never changed until McFarlane did it.
until McFarlane, right?
Yeah,
And John Romita Sr. John Romita Sr. was like, I tell you about that. I met Romita Sr. and Jr. the same day, and both of them drew me nice sketches of the lizard. Lizard's like one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. And he's like, which version do you want? He goes, because I would draw on him like the lizard with no teeth, like Ditko. And Mary Severin's making fun of me. He goes, I don't know. Then McFarlane comes along and draws him like an alligator. Like I love it.
right,
And
right.
that's literally what Romita Sr. said to me.
Uh,
He said Mary Severin was making fun of his lizard.
that's funny. Well, she's always fixed stuff for him. I mean,
Oh
she was
yeah,
just in
she.
office just fixing stuff.
I always find it so crazy that a woman comes around and draws just like a brother. Like people, like I know siblings. There's Kubert similarities,
Mm,
but like they drew so much alike. It was insane. Like their ink lines were like the same.
yeah, yeah,
Mary Severin and her brother John Severin. John Severin did a lot of comics, but mostly had a career drawing parody books for parody stories for Crack Magazine.
yeah. It's weird. John Severin had such a crazy career because I know what that someone recently did. I don't know if it was like it was Fantagraphic. Someone did a recent John Severin like Western stories printed. I don't know if it was some of it was Marvel, but just a lot of stuff.
He loved westerns.
Yeah,
He loved
yeah.
westerns, and he was best friends. His best friend in comics was that Marvel artist who died in the 50s. Who you
Joe
well,
Manley.
yeah, I was like his best friend in like real life.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yep. Joe Manley. I mean, again, I go into the fact that if Joe Manley didn't die, we wouldn't have the Marvel Universe. It's kind of fucked up because that was Stanley's guy. That was like his right hand man. Like so it was kind of by happenstance that, it all went the way that it went, so
He dies, and then Lee has to go ask Kirby to start doing work for him because he
right,
needed any art. He needed artists.
right, right. And
Who knew?
they needed a workhorse. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird to think about it. Liefeld the other day says, if I would have never been born, no Deadpool. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what a weird world. Like, would Marvel have had another? Would we have glommed on to somebody else? Would Madcap be a more important character? Would somebody
No.
have, you know? No, not
No.
Madcap. But you know what I
No.
mean? Like, where is our world without Deadpool?
Slapstick.
Slapstick would Nighthawk have been more popular? Like, it's weird. Think no X-Force, no Cable.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
comic world wise, not obviously real world doesn't matter, but comic
Right.
world wise, I'm like, yeah, no Image Comics.
Yeah, because Jim Lee came in, but he didn't really create any character, like he didn't create Gambit. People like attribute like sometimes they'll think they he did, but he didn't,
No,
you
that's
know.
he didn't create Bishop. People think he created Bishop. No, that's a Portaccio character.
Right, right. Jim Lee created nothing. Nothing. Um yeah, so this is a new Dark was it Image book. It almost feels like a Dark Horse book, right? Well, I think Marcello Frusin did work did some I'm trying to think if he did some Hellboy stuff, maybe not. But this is pretty cool. Yeah, it's Viking Moon, Image Comics. I think it's 8 issues. Joe Pruitt, who we like.
Joe
Um,
Pruitt, that's interesting.
yeah,
He, I'm not familiar if he did a lot of image work in the past. Like he was always known for
Dead World and
Caliber.
yeah,
He was a big Caliber guy, and who was he last associated with?
Andrew
Was
Robinson. Doesn't he do like that Dusty Star?
Oh yeah. I'm
He
not talking
scripted
about what
Dusty
what
Star.
comic company. What comic company was he? Was he at AWA or Ahoy or somebody? He was at somebody Vault.
Yeah, I feel like he was somewhere. I'm not sure because
He was
wherever
somewhere,
Aftershock. Yeah, because his voice is in my head, so I think that's where it
maybe
might have been
Aftershock.
Aftershock. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Uh, but I always like this artist, this is Marcello Frusin, who is a similar to like an Eduardo
Eduardo
Rizzo.
Rizzo. Yeah.
But I always thought his stuff was, and he did Loveless, which was a really good
Yeah.
Azzarello
Loveless is really
series,
good.
and I think he did some of the Viking series, Northlanders. So this isn't
This
that
is
far off from that, but doing Leif Erikson. it might grow on me a little bit. When I first I pulled some art on it, I didn't love the lettering. I felt like the lettering seemed a little wrong for it.
Hmm.
I guess what I'm spoiled by is I feel like a lot of these books, like the Conan lettering style is basically doing like a Joe Rosen style, right? They're still doing like a
Hmm.
70s Joe Rosen style. I think Bloodrick, his art, whoever would do that. I think even maybe even J. Scott Campbell started this. Didn't J. Scott Campbell, he created his own font and gave it to whoever, Comicraft. He would write the alphabet.
Somebody else
So
did too. I mean, a lot.
Frank Miller did it. Was Frank Miller, I believe, lettered right on the page, of course, for Sin City, but lettered on the page, I believe, for like Hard Boiled and stuff. I think that's all. None of that's overlay. I think that's on board. But
This
I
is
feel
me.
like it
It's
feels like it's wrong. It feels like it's not. It feels like a little amateurish, in the placement and stuff.
hmm.
Pull this back a little bit more. I would have lettered this slightly differently, I
Yeah. I
think.
would have like the ah at the bottom. I'm like, well, you don't have to cover any of his hair. You just move the word balloon a
Yeah,
millimeter, and you're just blanking. Yeah, letter placement is super important to me.
yeah,
Uh, like the second panel, like you could just have it in the space between the Indian warrior and the tree. You don't have
well,
to cover the tree.
yeah, yeah.
The bottom one is obviously you move it up 2 millimeters, and it's not covering his hair. The first panel,
It's a little too big. Like I don't know. It could be smaller. I don't know. It just seems a little too big.
you
You're covering
you
up
don't
the
want your
arrow.
lettering to be small because 50-year-old men read these comics.
Yeah. But
You know,
zoom in.
I've
Zoom in.
I've adapted my readers finally. I'm like, I guess I gotta wear readers. I like this
Yeah.
idea. This is a movie idea straight up. Like Vikings come to America, there's werewolves. Yeah, cool. Warren Ellis and
Yeah.
Steve Lieber, I brought it up before. We're going to do a book where Vikings land in feudal Japan, and the book never happened.
Hmm.
And that would have been a very interesting. It's a neat idea. Those Vikings were traveling all over the world. They literally discovered North America. I mean, discovered it 20,000 years after Native Americans did, but they still discovered it. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll check this book out. Art looks
Yeah, I'm
good. The
into it.
coloring looks good.
Dark Horse announced that I guess they're ending minor threats, which I guess is okay. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Like I feel like my brain, I'm too old. I feel like my brain needs it to end, and then I can go back and kind of go through it. That's kind of what I did. Like I did Black Hammer a few different times, but I'm almost waiting for Black Hammer to do the same thing. Black Hammer to like zipper up and then be done, and then I can kind of go through it. So it's
The
just because the way it works. So this is Dark Horse. This is the Patton Oswalt Jordan Blum universe, which I feel like every month there's a
that
mini series or a special or one shot or
that
there's
Welcome to
something.
Twilight miniseries is phenomenal. Like I
Yeah.
just read the Gail Simone Jean Ha issue
Mm,
that focuses on the lobster dude. It was great.
mm.
It was great, and the Mike Allred issue was great that he did with Matt Fraction.
Yeah, right.
Did you? Ah, yeah. When you go back and read it, some of
Yeah, I
it's
didn't go
like
back and read it.
it's all pretty enjoyable. If you like Black Hammer, you'll like this.
I think
Uh,
it's interesting that Dark Horse that they do these series, they do these like quote unquote like almost like vanity projects, and I'm like, I don't want this. And then I read it, like it kind of goes back to Umbrella Academy. I'm like, I don't want Gerard Way to write comics, and then it ends up being good. You're like, shit,
you're like
like that's
he's
that's
really
really good.
good. He
Yeah,
came in, he came in just really good.
yeah. And then you're mad about it. And I was like mad about it. I was like, fuck you, dude. Like you can't come in this good.
You're a
So
millionaire rock star, travel around the world, and you got to do comics too.
yeah,
It's
right.
too funny.
Yeah,
But that's his love, man. Look at our boy Dan McGowan. He's touring the world with Kansas, but he almost would rather be writing and drawing comics.
yeah,
He still loves writing and creating music, but you're touring with Kansas, dude. You're making so much money. Like you are, this is the epitome of what you could be. I mean, the epitome would be if his band T Club took off, which would
right,
be great. They're a really good
right,
progressive rock band. That's a hard sell in today's world, but for fans of music, they're great. Their
right.
voices are great. Their instrument playing is great.
Yeah, we
But
gotta
like
get it. We gotta grab him
we
whenever
should.
he's around. You know, we gotta get him, drive him around. This is I think a big mistake. I know this stuff was kind of dropped into our chats a little bit, so I know they're doing this Deadpool Batman, right? We know that,
Right. We know
but
this.
like, why? But and then they announced it. Then they announced that there's going to be extra stories in the background. Why aren't they just doing 3 one shots? This is so dumb
You're
to me.
you're correct.
So dumb.
This is the backup. Fuck you. No, give us a full book. You're gonna get Kevin Smith to write Daredevil and Green Arrow. Give me
Yeah.
a damn full comic.
Yeah, they're gonna do like
That
8 pages, and
that
it's Andy Cooper drawing it. And then you don't have Andy Cooper doing the variant. It's kind of weird, you know. I think that's
yeah.
odd.
Kevin
Uh,
Smith is a verbose motherfucker. Like let him
yeah,
give him a full comic.
yeah, and I
You ever
feel like this is a big mistake because Jeff is a big character. Crypto's on the up. Like this could be a gigantic book. This could be
yes.
a gigantic book for
This book
not
would
us,
sell.
for not us,
This
you
book would
know, and
sell
it's
so
okay.
much. Yeah. You put this in stores, you put this in movie theaters, it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. So that would have been. I don't know what that's a big mistake, you know. So I don't know. There's a really good
Big,
video.
big mistake. That's like the pretty woman when she goes back
Big
to the
mistake.
this
Big
snooty.
mistake.
That's
You
right.
work on commission, right? Big mistake. So yeah, J. Scott Campbell does his own like direct. There's a really good video of him talking about and actually having a lot of his original 25th anniversary. The border and having some of those issues.
No, they were fun. The
So
first one
this
I
is
got,
pretty cool.
Mark, trivia quiz. Who was on the Transformers cover that month? What Transformer
Oh
face did they
shit,
put on the Marvel 25th anniversary Transformer issue?
I can see it. It's a blue streak or something.
Wrong. Cold. Getting cold.
Hmm. Hold
Decepticon.
up. Is it Decepticon?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Menasor.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Is it a Mentor issue? Is it an issue that they
I don't I
feature him?
don't I don't recall.
Yeah, I think so. I did have it. I did have that. I had the Amazing Spider-Man. My brother had the Wolverine Uncanny.
Right.
So I did eventually get a lot of these. I ended up getting a lot of them. But it was cool. It was cool to have. There's a great Cyclops, which is a Walt Simonson.
hmm
That's probably my favorite one. Um, yeah, but this is pretty cool. So
Probably Milligan's too.
yeah, I imagine that like this is probably
He's a big Cyclops mark.
it's pretty expensive. You're doing $30 books. But I guess the only thing that bugged me was like this one, the Spider-Man he talks about. He's like, yeah, and I put it over in bleed. This just goes into our shit, being like, oh, he's like, oh, I just did this a little bit extra, and I was like, I like that you did the wraparound, but like, do I need all three? I need all three because then, I mean, I don't need any of them, but that means that I can just save these
You
images,
need
right?
all three so you could get all the characters because every one, like Mary Jane's covering some, Spider-Man's
Right,
covering some. You want to see all the art.
right, right,
So,
right.
so
And
you gotta get
and
the
there's
blank.
also
You
the
gotta get the blank
shadow.
one. Yeah.
But I mean, listen, good on him for creating his own marketplace, right? Like he's utilizing what a lot of people do like. You're buying directly from him. The money's going directly to him. It's $30 a book. I guess that's okay. You know what I mean? But
Because
like,
I think with Marvel, you got to make so many. I don't know if it's 2,000, 3,000. I think DC lowered
right,
the threshold to 1,000 with Absolute Batman. That's how they
right,
help
right, right,
pump up those sales.
right. But his rationale behind like who he drew where, some of them are the exact same type pose. But yeah, it's about a minute, 2 minute video on Instagram to watch. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, that's I will take that. So yeah, this what I mentioned earlier is that Marvel's a mess. Marvel's a mess. There's a lot of articles, a lot of videos about stuff that's been leaking out that everything, and we talk about this, everything is canceled. There was a leak last week that it got taken down. There was a tweet by someone who either co-scripts with does he script Peach Momoko stuff for
I,
Ultimate X-Men?
I don't know.
But there was a rumor basically said that everything ends at 24, that entire universe has ended, which may track. It may track with how Ultimates is reading that every single thing is going to get to that. We're at 18. So we have 6 more months of the Ultimate Universe, and they're either going to full reboot it
My
or
my guess
like
is a
soft
full
reboot it.
because you got to tell the story of the Maker coming back,
Right.
and then probably some sort of reboot because that's some of your most interesting stuff at Marvel right now. People love it, and I don't really. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on at Marvel. It's just you don't nobody knows about it. For me, for you and me, Mark, what is
Right.
it? Amazing Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, X-Men.
Yeah.
What else? What else is your? Oh, thank you, everyone. That's my daughter Callie, wishing me a happy birthday. She's adorable. She broke her arm. We were on vacation. She fell.
Oh my God, dude. Did you go to the
Um,
hospital right there?
yeah, we did.
Holy shit.
See, here's the thing about us Messics. Uh, most of us have Neanderthal bones. We look like Neanderthals. My wife saw a Neanderthal like here's a like not naked, but like here's a Neanderthal body, and she's like, "That's you.
Oh
That's
my God. I don't know if
your."
that's a compliment.
It's a weird compliment. I'm like, "Oh, you really like ugly dudes." Thank God. Thank God women like ugly dudes. I don't know what we would do. I mean, we're not the handsome teenagers. I was an awesome teenager. Let me just I'm not bragging. I literally
Right.
did fashion shows.
I was an
Now I'm just
awesome
like now I'm
teenager.
just now I'm just a Neanderthal, and I embrace it. But like we have my brothers and I, we all have like really like extra thick bones. There's a little science for you. Neanderthal have thick bones, like monkeys do. That's why they can. And a chimpanzee can pick up 300 pounds. A Neanderthal could have picked you up with one arm and just threw you like 20 feet. That's not even an exaggeration. So my brothers and I, car accidents, bike accidents, falling off trees. We've never broken a bone. And so we like when I do my DNA, I'm a little more Neanderthal than most. Um, so just funny. So
That's
my one
crazy.
daughter has it. She's taken a face plane off a diving board on a concrete. Nothing. But my other daughter didn't get it. And she's like a fragile bird boned.
Oh
Like
my God.
she's
That's so
broken like
funny.
several, she's broken both arms. She's broken her foot. Like,
Jesus.
and my brother TJ, his one son's got the Neanderthal bones, but his daughter doesn't. She's like fragile too. It's just funny. Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
yes, you can call me a caveman. I'm caveman. I'm Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman.
And when you
Uh,
see me, you'll go, yeah, I can see it.
that makes
That
sense.
furrowed brow, that short, stocky,
What are you wearing? What's the shirt you're wearing? You're
Oh,
wearing
it's a
like,
they might be giants.
oh, okay.
I'm
It's
in the
just
they
funny
might be
that it's
giants.
like it's literally like a skeleton. So we're talking about bones, and you have a skeleton shirt on.
Them bones, she took everything but my bones.
Them bones took everything but my bones. That's a great line.
It was a great line. I like that for a Star Trek movie.
That's the best momentum. At least the first hour of it, I think, is like the best. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Uh, but anyway, back to the news. Marvel is canceling too many
What?
books.
All right. I mean, when you
They're
look at most of these
canceling
books,
Iron Man. They're canceling Daredevil.
those two
They're
books alone, everything else I expect to be canceled. In fact, Marvel just makes comics to be
correct.
canceled. But Iron Man and Daredevil, there's got to be a better plan. Like they seem like they got to be some sort of reboot. But let's face it, Iron Man's your most popular Marvel superhero movie character, pretty
Movie
much.
character.
But you can't make that comic work,
Fraction made it
you
work.
know?
Fraction
That
made it work.
Daredevil, Fraction worked. Who did it after Fraction? Kieran Gillen?
Kieran Gillen, it's fine.
No, there's some really good. What I like about his run is he does stuff that I had in my Iron Man run. I never wanted to write Iron Man, and I'm like, ah, that's the least interesting character at Marvel for me. And when I said that, I go, but they could do that, and they could do that. I'm like, motherfucker, I got a
Mm,
whole script in my head of like what they could do with Iron Man. Because you know what it is? I look at superheroes. I'm not comparing myself to Alan Moore, but I want to write like Alan Moore. So like aspects of Alan Moore, but like the way they never let characters progress enough. And I'm like, there's so much potential with Iron Man that you could do,
mm.
and they never really do it. But
Yeah.
Kieran Gillen touched on it. I think he did City of Iron or something, right? He made like an Iron Man city. I'm like,
Mm.
yes, that's exactly what I would have did. He's a technologist. He's everything Elon Musk wishes he could be. Like
Yeah,
they should like
slots run didn't work. Uh,
no, I
the newest
tried.
run didn't work.
It
Yeah,
started off strong. I think I liked the first issue or two, but it's always in all their Tony Starks are inconsistent.
right,
And
right,
let's what we're dealing with is actually not even the original Tony Stark. He's like a clone.
right, right.
So yay for that.
Yeah, I just it's weird. It's weird that the X Factor was too high concept. I knew that wasn't going to work. X Force I thought was good, but the lineup is not X Force in a way for us. So it's not, it's
Yeah,
not, you got to do, if you're doing X Force, you're doing
yeah.
Cable, and you don't do
S-
Cable in there
Right.
at all.
Psylocke,
So
well, most X-Men solo characters get canceled.
yeah,
In fact, they should only ever do miniseries.
they should, right, right, yeah. So because it just doesn't, because it was Magic's going to be next. You know what I mean? Like the Magic series, if that's already canceled,
Maybe. She's got Magic has a following today that Psylocke had in the 90s. Like if you had
right?
done a Psylocke series in the 90s, you probably
Yeah,
could have
the
lasted a
Storm
while.
book has good reviews. I just don't care about Storm to read a solo book. I don't care. The Spectacular Spider-Man book should have been a bigger deal because you had, I think it started off with, was it Ramos and Greg Weisman?
Weisman. Yeah, but it's still
Yeah,
Weisman to the end, but like once Ramos left, it lost some of the energy. Not that the guy who followed wasn't bad, it's just lost something. And really what it comes down to, Mark, is I don't really want team up books.
hmm
I like reading my Amazing and my Miles separately.
yeah,
Putting them together, visiting each other in the books, awesome.
It should be special, like when
It
they
should be
do it.
special.
It should
I
be
kind of
special.
feel
The
the same way about
Spider-Man
World's
was good. That was surprisingly good. I
right,
didn't
but
want
that
it.
was
That
that
was
was a
Bendis.
miniseries.
Yeah,
That's Bendis. Um, I feel the same way about World's Finest. I feel like Superman Batman meetings should be special, not monthly.
right.
Even though I enjoy the book, and I do enjoy the book,
Well, I think the world's. Um,
they've
I think
utilized
I
it
think
in a really
Waid
smart
figured
way.
out a way to do that book to have Silver Age stories and
That's
ish.
why it's working because it's
Yeah,
telling us stuff that never we wouldn't get anywhere else.
right. It's not
So,
trapped in. It's not trapped in current continuity stuff. So that
did,
works.
so what do you think? Dan Mora is leaving Superman and staying
I
on
don't know
Justice
which one
League?
he's leaving. I'm not sure. I would think that it would be easier for him to do Superman,
That
and
makes
then
sense. But
and then
where's the paycheck?
I don't know if they're really outselling each other. If you get Page, if I think they're close in stats. I think both of them are close in stats. So I'm not sure if it matters. So it might be the same page rate.
I don't
You
know.
know, I
It's
don't know.
interesting, but
But I mean,
yeah,
he does a lot of covers. He does. I mean, I don't think he's quit. He hasn't quit doing the
he's
World's
doing
Finest covers.
right, and he's doing Deadpool Batman right now
That's right. Yeah, right.
with Grant Morrison, which is cool
Crazy.
because that was the Claus team, the Klaus team, the Santa Claus.
Klaus.
That's
Yeah,
a good book, everyone. There's a nice hardcover, collects it all. Get it digitally or go buy the hardcover.
yeah. I just so like. I mean, well, West Coast Avengers. I didn't even start. I didn't care. What, New Champions. I couldn't tell you who the lineup is. That's confusing. Werewolf by Night was a red band. I never started it. It's canceled. Like Spider Boy, I didn't care about the character. But
It
Dan
was
Slott in the interview
it.
with Word Balloon, he said that he's still doing stuff. Like he has some type of out, even though he went to DC. Like he's still going to do some type of Spider Boy something.
Yeah.
So they might have
So
like an Edge of Spider Verse
it,
book or some
yeah,
shit.
I would have thought I was going to hate Spider Boy, but it ends up kind of being a decent book. It
Yeah.
definitely aimed at someone younger, like someone like 12 would probably appreciate that book, but still
Deadpool,
not
they
bad.
just keep rotating. Deadpool's no different than Harley Quinn. It's like we have to keep the IP around if someone walks into a store. So we don't care if we lose money on it. So Deadpool turns Deadpools. That's only so many issues already.
Ugh.
And then
You
it'll
know
be
what Dead,
Deadpool
you know
again.
what Deadpool needs, Mark? It needs a Frank Miller overhaul. Someone to come in, treat him real serious, but like make the jokes darker. Like he's not. Marvel likes to make him Bugs Bunny. That's Axel Alonso. Like he likes to make him Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny. And I think if you came in like Frank Miller serious on Daredevil, but he's still got to be funny. But it's got to be like he's still a murderer. He's still an assassin. Like
Yeah, I think you got to
there's
put him in
there's a good
danger. There's
book
no
there.
danger for him. But see, that's the problem. Is the problem is he can regenerate, so it's like you don't have any. There's no stakes. There's no. The thing that made it interesting in the Posehn run is they gave like a kid like they gave him like all sorts of stuff. They gave him all sorts of like guilt and then things he may remember and he may not remember. Like
Yes,
it's
they really mess with him. I mean,
yeah
they messed with him so bad, Sabretooth felt bad for him.
yeah
Which, by
that's
the way,
crazy.
is my favorite issue.
That's what yeah that was or Declan Shalvey I believe that. I remember calling you one time
I
when I
think
was
I
like
thought it was Koblish, but he was doing it in a Mark Pacella
oh
style.
that's right yeah no you're right yeah well they had I think that the so many issues
They had
they
Sabretooth in a
they
bunch of issues. You're
would
right,
float in and out. But
but
I think
the
that's the craziest part is I think I called you one day. I was like, I'm pretty sure I cried today over his Deadpool comic, right? Did you read that? Like, was he out in his car or something? Like
they're
Deadpool was in
both
his car.
they're both in like a car, like a Ford Pinto or
Yeah,
something, and they're it's just to see them both buckled in a car. You just never think like, yeah, they sometimes supervillains got to get somewhere, and it's just like Sabretooth in a car just made me laugh so hard.
yeah. It's a shame that Doug. Like, I think Posehn brought the weirdness to it, and once he was gone and Duggan does stuff, I don't like the Duggan stuff alone. I only like,
It's
you
he's
know,
competent. He's very competent, and
sure.
sometimes is good.
I liked
You
his
know,
Guardians run. I can't say that. I think his Guardians run was good, but then I feel
yeah,
like it was so reverent to the movie that it lost something. But there's a great issue that Chris Samney drew that um I think he loses one of his mixtapes or something. It's all about this mixtape. It's all
right.
about him going back. It's like it's kind of no different than him trying to get his Walkman back, right, in the first movie. It's like it's
Mm,
no different than that. But
yeah,
it's like the whole issue was him trying to go get his mixtape back. That was it. So but we'll see. But I just think I find it this is a lot of books. It's a lot of books. And if
yeah.
what I've heard about, you know, what what's going to just eventually I guess replace this stuff like Daredevil like it just having Daredevil and Iron Man on here just feels weird.
Yeah, it's got to be something. It's got to be something.
But that's what I mean is that like what's his name like is it David Gabriel saying like well everyone gets like 10 issues. It's like well yeah, but they don't announce of course that they're canceled, you know? Like it's just like the way they're written. Like it says here, yeah, it's a certain books like Wolverine, Deadpool, and Magic seem to be ending soon. By the way, so it's written. It usually says something like finale or the end anywhere. Um, but yeah, I imagine that Wolverine Deadpool's going to end.
Yeah, that's
Hellverine's no,
you know
there
what's
shouldn't be a
sad?
Hellverine book.
That's actually probably my favorite book out of this whole list.
Sure, that's the most like Weapon X-Men, which Weapon X-Men should have been a seller
That's You're
and was
right.
immediately canceled. Like it was. It's just kind of crazy to me that there's not. We think there's more nostalgic. Maybe there is more. Maybe we think there's more nostalgic than there is. Like we think that
Well,
someone's
if you
nostalgic
want to do
for.
a nostalgia book, it's got to look nostalgic. Don't give me a bunch of 90s characters and then have Chris Cross, who's a very competent
Sure.
modern artist.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit what you're doing. And honestly, the same can be said about Blood Squad 7. Blood Squad
Yeah.
7, it looks great. Paul Fry is a great artist, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't fit the nostalgia of that book. I'm surprised that book's still going.
Yeah. I don't
Maybe the
know.
sales are good. Local Man wasn't enough to keep those guys working.
Right. 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 Right.
But see, Local Man got it. Local Man understood, like, here's today's book with a very Walking Dead style of art with regular people, and then
Mm,
here's a backup that's pure 90s. It's pure
right.
90s, and that's what we wanted to see.
Right. I don't
So,
know. I don't know what type of balance that would have made that book work more for everyone. It worked for us, but that we were like super target audience. But
Local Man,
again, yeah.
they're going to have to hire an artist that's cheaper, and then that's how we'll get it.
Mm.
What's the name? Just doesn't have the time to do it.
Tony Fleeks.
Tony Fleeks.
Yeah, because he's doing everything. He's doing the art up and down.
His books that he does sell a lot better.
Right. Or he
Um,
can draw My Little Pony variants for a lot of money. So
yes,
that's how he started.
and he's
That's
got
fine.
Marvel money now. He's got that Thing series, you know.
Yeah, I didn't check that second one out, but I want to.
Yeah, I didn't read the
Um,
second one either. So we briefly talked about this earlier. I didn't know you had it, but
mhm.
the conversation flowed naturally. So yeah, this is great. I sold a Transformers G.I. Joe cartoon series. We don't know what it's called yet, right?
I mean, do you
Announcement.
think he sold to Amazon? Like, I mean, he has Amazon ties. Uh,
Well,
you know,
him, his Hasbro relationship seems to really be working for both of them. Did you finally read Free Comic Book Day yet, Mark?
nope.
You son of a bitch.
I know. It's right there. Right over there.
And yet you read the new G.I. Joe.
Yeah, yeah. Confusing. I know. I know.
Yeah, I know. No,
You know
no one
why?
said
You know why? Because it's like I'm so used to reading, I'm digesting so much stuff on digital. So I get a physical print comic, I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Like it's odd. I think that I don't I can't be the only one that's like though. You know what I mean?
no. I agree with you.
Like I buy Conan physically. However, I buy the digitals because the digital copies that Titan puts out has every variant cover in full resolution.
I
So
like
it's
I
like
bought
I'm buying a variant. It's like I'm buying like six covers. I
I
pick the
buy
cover I want,
the
you know,
Liefeld Young Blood and Last Blood. They are only available on paper. So I buy them, and then what do I
and
do?
then you scan them, and
I
then you read
scan
them
them.
on your
I still read the paper.
iPad.
I mean, I read them as soon as I get them. Like I tear that
Yeah,
box open, I read them. But
yeah,
then
sure.
like I like to carry that digital version around with me. So if I'm on vacation, let me reread that Young Blood. Let me look at that Last Blood art.
Yeah,
You know, I just got the Bedrock Ash can, and it looks awesome. What am I going to do? I'm going to scan it,
you can scan it.
then
You
just
just
reread it over and over again.
that's
I'm
just how
excited
we
about.
are. That's just how
I'm
we are.
excited about.
You
You
know.
know, Liefeld's doing a big push for Youngblood this year. You know, his regular book that he's put out himself is great, but like the image push is going to be big. He's going to get a lot of surprise artists doing covers. I don't know who, but
You do know who. Yeah, I would be. You do, but you're a very good secret keeper. So, no, I mean, I'm excited for how that launch is going to work. How like what the real sales are for that. I mean, I want to see what this does. I want to see like I mean, the things that are exciting me, if like Amazon, I guess just keeps just printing money with the boys and Invincible. So like it's kind of crazy to me that the different stats and how that they get watches. Like it's crazy. Like
it's
how
insane. Because as much as I hate Bezos and the idea that he treats his employees like shit, it's like, he's got a good deal with Kirkman though, and you know
yeah.
whatever Seth Rogen and Goldberg's company is called. What's their?
I forget what the company's called. Yeah,
But
but the
that's
other thing
Invincible
too
too.
is that I want to say that is it Reckless? That's Amazon, I think, too. Well, Amazon's Criminal, but in during Thunderbolts, and I know it's been kind of talked about here and there, Sebastian Stan is attached to the Reckless series, and they're going to make movies. Like they're going to
which
make
I
like
which I've never heard announced.
I've never heard it announced. He talks in interviews like all the time now. He's mentioned it a bunch of times. It's like shit, So and I know that the new Criminal graphic novel they're doing is 220 pages.
I can't wait.
That's insane. That's insane because
When's that coming out?
we've never
August, right?
had. I think so. Yeah, we've never had a criminal book in that capacity. Like I think Heroes with I think when Junkies came out, technically that wasn't even listed as a criminal book. Technically, it was just my hero.
Yeah.
That's it. You know.
Listen, in my mind, every book he does is in the criminal universe. Pulp, criminal universe.
Right.
Reckless, criminal universe.
Right. 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 Is Reckless in the criminal? I guess it could be.
There's no reason it's not.
Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
They're not references. I don't believe there's any reference, but like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, might as well. It
like
doesn't
to
matter.
me, yeah. To me, everything like Dave Lapham does is in the same universe.
Yeah. I
Like,
Right, exactly. Yeah. I guess the one thing that like I mean that I gotta finish, I think there may be one or two episodes of Duster left, and it still looks great. It's not that good, that
yeah.
HBO show with Sawyer from Lost.
Mhm.
It's not great, but every episode just has like a slow motion. It's getting a little bit tighter, but it's just like reading like a bad it's kind of neat though, because it's like reading like a bad Elmore Leonard novel. Like the ones that they're kind of off to the side, like Side Street. Like there's a couple like I tried to get Elmore Leonard for a little bit and it would all read like a Tarantino script almost, right? And every character's seedy, So it's like, and it's kind of what this is, but it's just not coming together completely. I feel like because it's Jar Jar Abrams, especially the first couple episodes, I feel like it was a different time, and they said, you know what, it's fine. Let's put it here because there's an episode or two in they watch like something out of a trunk. They watch like a VCR out of it. And I was like, I don't think this was technology wasn't available at the time. And then at one point they like zoom in on something on like archive footage. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have been able to zoom in on this like this. Like it's
Enhance,
not
enhance.
Alias. Yeah, it's not
No.
Alias. So it's like you want to have this 1978 like show, but then you want to do things that are nowish. So I feel like it's been retrofitted back to this, but doesn't matter. But what I want when Criminal comes out, because I know it's going to be all over the place with the different timelines and stuff. Like
Right.
I feel like there's so many episodes, and then they're going to go back in time, and then like I really want it to be fluid like that and be really fucking good. Because I feel like I'm getting scraps. I feel like this is like the '90s, and I'll take like Generation X on Fox, and I'm like I'll deal with it
Yes.
because it's all I got. You know what I'm saying? Like because I'm watching this show, I'm like I wouldn't watch this necessarily, but I want this content. So
That's
I'm
funny,
hoping
but
that that'll be that
do you
way.
remember watching Generation X when it aired? I didn't tape it, but like at one point they focus in on the Xavier School for the Gifted, and I'm like, yeah,
Right,
like
right,
that
right,
was more exciting to me than like the movie. Like the idea
right,
that there's an X-Men universe.
right,
Too
right.
funny.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, we look some we took whatever we can get. So
Whatever we can get.
I really like that. If he can get something going at Amazon, and yeah, we don't love Bezos and stuff, but for different things. And this we talked about before the show. This we don't even believe is a real movie.
It seems fake, and like
It
it's
seems
happening.
fake. Yeah. So the 2026. Yeah. Also, even saying 2026 is this filming right now? Because if it's not, fuck it, it's not making it. Just like every date that they keep popping out. Because what's the new rumor for Avengers? That Secret Wars is two movies. That's the new rumor. That they're shooting Doomsday and Secret Wars at the same time, and Secret Wars is gonna be too fucking big, and it's two movies now. Because they announced they blocked out another December date for like the
Um,
following year.
listen,
Secret Wars shouldn't be one.
Is Avengers movies the only thing that's going to make Marvel money?
If that's the case, then just make Avengers movies. I don't know. Like I
That
mean,
that might be
it's
the case because nothing else is working.
nothing. Yeah. I mean well, and the thing that they did hire uh Schreier, Jake Schreier, who did Thunderbolts, to do X-Men, which I think is correct.
That's a good move.
And as long as you should get the story, because again, the thing about Thunderbolts, which is kind of fucked up, is that basically has like an executive producer of the Bear, like wrote the treatment and most of the screenplay. I think it was rewritten a few times, but Joanna Callow wrote that.
Right. So
So
it's like Bear and Beef together, two shows
yeah,
which we really enjoyed.
yeah, 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 yeah. Two
And
shows
like
that I watch in like one day. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I watched like
The new season of Bears out. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes in.
I
Three or
finished it
four, I
two
forget.
days. Yeah, I
They're
finished
like, I'm
it.
done.
I did seven in one day, and then I did three the next day. That's it. One, two. That's it. Straight through. And beef I did in one day. Well, I was unemployed at the time, so that's okay. But
That's
like,
fine.
but it was two people. But I talked to Jake Schreier. Well, sort of like I mean, social media talk
Yeah.
because I posted on my Instagram. And I was like, "Am I watching the finale of this at 3:30 in the morning?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am." And I took a picture of the title sequence for the finale, and I put it up on my Instagram and I tagged it. And they were really good when it first came out. They tagged everyone. They're really good at it. So they
That's
both wrote
cool.
to me. They're like thank you for supporting the show. And I'm like, okay, like the creator and then the and Jake. I was like, wow, that's fun. But yeah, this almost just seems like completely insane, and it's so weird that that looks what like because we've seen so many pictures of Noah Centineo pretty much roided up. Like that
Yes.
doesn't look like the same dude, but he's going to be what? It's going to be Ryu or
Yeah.
Ken? I was getting confused.
Ken. I don't know.
Um, but
Well,
yeah,
who's
Jason Momoa. I forget who this guy is. He looks like but I forget what that guy's name is. Oh
yeah,
wait, I think
Jason
I
Momoa as Blanca? Just yeah, he looks like him. He's Lobo. He's Blanca. He's Aquaman.
yeah,
He's
there it is.
whatever.
Andrew Koji, Noah Centineo, Alan Richardson as Guile, Jason Momoa as Blanca, Roman Reigns, Takuma. I don't know, Chun-Li. 50 Cent as Balrog, and Orville Peck as Vega.
And
But he's a music artist and he doesn't take that mask off ever. So it's kind of funny because he's playing a character that never takes his mask off.
that is
So
funny.
that's funny. And Andrew Schultz just got cast as this guy who's kind of like a shitty guy. So that's really funny.
And then you got what's his name as Kyle? What's his name? What's that character's name? Bottom right corner.
Uh, that's Kyle. Yeah, Alan Richardson. Yeah,
Rich. Yeah,
Reacher.
Preacher.
Get the
I'm like,
fuck
wow,
out. This whole cast doesn't make it. It's so fucking
this is
fan
this is a Wizard
casted.
magazine fan casting.
Correct. I feel like this is not even a movie. I don't know anything about this fucking movie. Like it's coming out. I'm like, but who's making it? Like, how is this possible? You
Like
know, because I
He-Man's
feel
coming
like
out in June, and they're still
is
filming
that
it. Are
this
they
year?
wrapped? No,
Was I thought it was
next
June? June next year.
June next year, which is fine. That's a right amount of time to make a He-Man movie.
They kept that fucking tight, dude. You don't see shit for He-Man. You ain't
I don't
seen nothing.
I don't want to.
I understand, but I feel like that got tight. You saw two scenes of him running in like a pink shirt. That's it.
Yes, you saw
Like
pink shirt
that's it.
him, and you saw Tila with him, and that's it.
That's it.
And you know what? Good.
That's it.
This this is just so weird. I don't know. I remember liking the first Street Fighter movie. I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
until like Mortal Kombat came out. I'm like, oh, Mortal Kombat killed it.
Yeah, but
Mortal,
I never cared about it. To me, I always thought Mortal Kombat looked like shit because I feel like because they tried to make it look like humans moving, and I just was like, I don't want that in my video games. You know, I want this cartoon. Oh shit! The only thing I didn't pull, I don't know if you saw this. I think it's I don't know if it was Mezco. Somebody did cartridges, and they did Sega Genesis figures basically. They did
Mhm.
Street Fighter, so it's Street Fighter cards. You open it up, and it's like these little action figures. They're like that big, it's like 3 or 5 inches, and they just look like them. You know, it's Ryu with the thing, and like it just they're pretty cool looking. But I didn't pull it for the news, but they were pretty cool looking. But yeah, it just doesn't seem correct. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or
You
they're gonna
know,
swap everyone out. Like I feel like they're just kind of putting it online like this is what they hope happens. You know.
yeah.
Because this like having that casting of Orville Peck as fucking Vega is like hilarious. Was it Street Fighter Alpha? We used to watch that in the store all the time.
I did watch the second movie. The first movie, killed Raul Julier, those bastards.
Mm. Kill.
Um, and the second they made a movie like 10 years later with Christian Crook as Chun-Li
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah, The Legend of
what
Chun-Li, which is arguably I think that movie versus like the Dragon Ball Z movie with one of the Jimmy Olsen. He was like a Jimmy Olsen, wasn't he?
no, it was on Shameless, right?
I don't know. I thought he was Jimmy Olsen. I thought it was one of the Jimmy Olsens.
I don't know if he was ever a Jimmy Olsen, but he was
Yeah.
definitely he was like the love interest the first 2 seasons of Shameless.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Dragon Ball Z, yeah, which I
Yeah.
never saw.
That movie did supposedly same thing. Like everyone fucking hates that movie. Everyone
But the
hates Chun
Chun-Li
Li.
movie, what's the name was Bison? The blonde haired, blue eyed guy. He plays Dum Dum in the Captain America movie. I
Yeah,
love him.
Neil McDonough.
Neil McDonough. I love him so much, dude. Like he's just so cool. Like he shows up, he just acts cool. That's all he's got to do.
Yeah, I feel like
He's
Neil McDonough and who's the guy Holt whatever. That other guy, that guy, those are just like the perfect like character actor guys. Put him in something, and
Yeah.
they're always good. The guy who
Yeah.
was in Iron Claw, who was his dad,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
oh, whatever, uh,
Dude,
always good.
I want Dum Dum back. Give me more friggin' Dum Dum. Give me that World War II Captain America movie. Give me the
Yeah, that
Invaders.
the Asian guy he works on 911 TV show. So that's every time I see him, I'm like, oh fuck, like, and he was what? He was the principal.
Yeah, he was the principal. He was his own
Yeah,
grandson.
right. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like it's. I feel like the with that Crooked Man movie and the last Hellboy movie, I was like, you can't make a Hellboy BPRD show. Like, you can't give me that because that's like because that guy was, you could have had Daimyo. That was perfect, perfect fucking casting.
Yeah.
Daniel Day Kim, perfect fucking
Yeah, they came
casting.
perfect, dude.
I mean, you could do. I mean, Seth MacFarlane was fucking. He was Johan. Like that was
Johan, yeah.
insane. That was insane. Uncredited. What's up with that movie? What's up with those movies that they just have uncredited voice actors for contracts or something, right? Because
Yeah.
I think we all knew it was Seth MacFarlane, but Seth MacFarlane couldn't be credited or something. There was
I don't
something
remember.
weird about it.
I remember, but I don't remember. I remember
Same thing
the
with the
issue,
first
but I don't
movie
remember.
was David
Oops.
Hyde Pierce as David Hyde
David.
Pierce, but then they couldn't credit him for some reason, or he didn't want
Really?
credit.
They didn't credit him?
Mm-mm.
He was
Nope.
fine with doing it, and he was fine when what's the name was uh who plays Abe Sapien, the actor in the suit.
Oh my God, I can't remember his name right now.
Anyway,
Uh, yeah.
because here he could do the voice. He's a fine actor on his own, and David Hyde Pierce. I don't know who actually made the decision, but like he could do the voice just fine. You didn't need to hire David Hyde Pierce.
Yeah, I should watch the second one on that again.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't watched that in a
I
long
think I've only
time.
watched it twice. Once in the theaters and once on DVD.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all the news I got. I'm sure I missed stuff. There was a lot of fucking news.
There was a lot of news too. Diamond News, DC left Lunar to go with Universal. Like, is Universal that good? Are they that ready to handle DC? I'm
I don't
like,
know.
it's crazy. I thought everything was like kind of coalescing around Lunar and Penguin,
Right. Right. Now I'm real confused. Yeah.
and then I can't believe DC left Lunar. It blows my mind. Like that.
They
This is the
left
whole thing
Diamond to
started.
go to Lunar. Correct.
Yes,
Yeah. They
and
they basically destroyed Diamond. Like by leaving Diamond, that was like a nail in the coffin,
and
Marvel had to leave Diamond because of their Disney buyout. So that
yes,
that made that had to have happened. They're just
Disney
like,
has a
"What are you
better deal,
doing?"
right?
Disney looked at it and they're like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Now they went through a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of, what's interesting when we talk about print runs. We talk about like the shop that I like in NJ Comics Shop. He just got a bunch of old spawns, and you got like 100 to 250 in Spawn. Well, those print runs are fucking lower than Spawn one
Yeah,
to to 50,
yes,
right?
you're right.
So it's like he's like, what do I do with these? Like he even wrote it. He's like, I don't know what to do with these. He's like, I don't know if
eBay,
I should put them.
you eBay
I
them.
should keep them. Like he's like, I don't know. I look these covers so much shit. He didn't know what to do with them. The post literally was like, I'm not sure what to do with these. Do I sell these? Do I keep these? Like
I think it's around the 220s where it gets really low.
really low. Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing is like it used to be. You go back and read Spider-Man, like there's might be some slower print runs, but not to that level in
Yeah.
comparison. If you want a Spider-Man run, you want a Spawn run, it's really fucking hard.
Yeah, you blew my mind about Amazing
Dragon, I
Spider-Man.
quit. I quit Dragon because I couldn't get in the hundreds, and I was like, I can't find these out anywhere. I'm not going to spend a lot for them.
They're hard to find. They're valuable books.
Do you still have physicals or no? You sold
No,
orders.
I sold when the market got hot.
Yeah.
I went and bought every digital dragon on Comixology.
Mm.
Because the cool thing about Comixology is when they were great, you could buy them and download a PDF or a CBR file
Mm-hmm.
just with image books and other companies. I think Dark Horse you could do it too. So like everything I bought, I download. Like I downloaded Liefeld's then Youngblood run, Joe Casey's run,
Mm-hmm.
and the next guy, Chad Bowers, Jim Toe.
Right.
Actually, I bought paper comics of them, and then I bought the digital trades. Like I waited for a sale. Image would have half off sales. That's when I bought all the dragons, and I bought every dragon digitally. And there were some really shitty scans in there. I'm like, you
Right.
son of a bitch. But now,
Right.
if you
Right.
get the
Right.
new hardcovers, he just went and recolored everything. Everything he didn't have a file for, he just recolored, and it's really good recoloring.
Mm-hmm.
Like I notice it because I'm a nut. Like, and
Right.
they try to
You
do
put them
some.
side by side.
I did do a side by side
Crazy.
because I'm crazy. And they do some fake banding in it, which I love. Banding is a style like when they're trying to change like a dark blue to a light blue for like a lighting effect. Old Photoshop couldn't do that flawlessly. So you get like a band of dark, a band of
Oh yeah,
slightly,
right.
which you and I kind of grew to love. Like
Mm,
I kind of like that. It's a staple of 90s comics. So Larson tried to imitate that in some points, and other points he just kind of forgot about it. And really,
right.
when it comes to the colors, you only really care about like the first couple issues that you read a million times.
Mhm.
After that, when you're getting the books you've only read once or twice, you kind of don't even notice it.
Yeah, once you're in the 120-ish, but
Yeah.
I'd say the first 50 I read a lot. First 25 I read the most
Yes.
of
The first
Dragon.
three, I those books were like a million times I read them.
And then I had Dragon, then you had the 99 cent series, the five part,
That was
which was
great.
all re
What he did
uh
was when he put out the first Dragon trade of the first three issue miniseries, he went and there was a lot of flashbacks going back and forth. Well, he just made the story chronological, got rid of all flashbacks, just told it in one fluid way, but then added pages, then added more pages when the trade came out. Put in the story he had for Operation Urban Storm, put in the story he had for Image Zero, or no, yeah, Image Zero. And then he had so much stuff. He took those three issues and made a 5 issue miniseries out of it. Made him 99 cents, put a brand new cover on them,
yeah.
and then made a trade of that issue.
Mhm.
And the new hardcover has even more pages in it. There's stuff in it like if you look through it, like the third hardcover, he went and like Dragon showed up in Wildstar at one point. Well, he basically made like a couple page synopsis of what Dragon was doing in that book, but
Oh, okay.
Larson redrew it. He took his Wildcats number 14 and his Savage Dragon 13, which kind of told some of the same story, added them together, which
Right,
made
made like
one
a
long.
super
Like it
cut.
was yes. And there's two pages that didn't work in the supercut because they were like half pages. Like half the pages worked, half the pages didn't, and he still put them as extras in the back. He did a really
Right.
good job with those hardcovers.
Does he do like the censor? Didn't he had a couple books? He had a couple of them that were like
Yeah, there's
graphic.
an, there's an issue that has some graphic stuff in it back then, not graphic to what he does now. And he put all the pages in.
Right.
They're
Right.
really good hardcovers. I have an issue with some like he put a when he put out his original hardcovers, he had these offensive plates that he would sign, like really some of them really offensive. And he started putting those plates in there, but like must have had to scan from the hardcover, which kind of is sad because I have like he put those images in some later issues of Dragon digitally. I'm like, you have a digital version of this. You didn't have to put a scan version in.
Right.
But you know what? When you're dealing with thousands of pages, hundreds of comics, it's a lot. If you didn't keep perfect order of those books, then what he's doing is a really hard job, making hardcovers out of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
All right. So it's the
yeah,
Naked Gun poster.
I just thought this was funny. It made me laugh out loud, actually. I'm really looking forward to this movie. Naked Gun, I think it's going to be good. There's a new trailer up. And just those fingers are so creepy because you've seen AI like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
and it actually takes people, when I showed other people this, they're like, oh, it took me like a second to notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it at first. I wonder if there's something like in his eye. I need to go like super zoom in. I wonder if there's something in there.
Oh, yeah. Did they de-age him a little bit, like take some wrinkles away?
Yeah.
What is he, in his 70s?
Yeah. I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
I don't
want it.
know. Just because it's like, uh, is it, is it Akiva? Akiva
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah. It's
he's
Seth
directing
MacFarlane
it.
executive produced, and I don't know if he co-wrote it or, but did wasn't what was the movie? He didn't he do a Western with Liam Neeson?
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, and that was not good.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
There's a really hilarious, there's like everyone, the biggest thing about that movie is the cameo, which is Gilbert Gottfried as Abraham Lincoln, which is just
Oh,
ridiculously
yeah.
hilarious.
I never saw it.
No, it's pretty good. I only watched it once. Um, but The Orville is a phenomenal show that was never should have been listed as a comedy.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
My dad
We-
likes
I
that.
I went into it thinking it was a parody, and like I was kind of let down. But then once I got into the story, I'm like, this is really good. This is what Seth MacFarlane would do with Star Trek, and it's good. By the time you get to the third season, it's almost like a series of movies. The Orville is really good, and I think they're thinking about bringing it back again because there's just quality to that show. But
Yeah, I'm hoping they bring back everything. I'm hoping that everything. I'm hoping that Transformers 2 happens. I'm hoping that
yeah,
um,
the recent trailer to this is pretty funny. This is a
yeah,
custom. I saw this and originally hoped it was actually happening.
I know.
This is Bob Kane's design for Batman. his original design for Batman, and it's terrible. And before he was doing Batman, his character was going to be Birdman. So picture this with like bird wings. And then Bill Finger came in. He's like, no, this is garbage. Bill Finger took this and made Batman, made our Batman that we know and love. But Bob Kane's dad was a lawyer and knew all the right things to do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
In fact,
I feel like it's a lot easier now to like villainize Bob Kane. I don't know.
he
I mean,
was a
we'll
villain.
never know.
Well, he was always kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
He was a jerk to Stan Lee. He was actual jerk to Stan Lee. He who's telling a story? Cliff Biggers was telling he was at a comic convention, he was younger. And Jack Kirby has him and Cliff Biggers owns several comic stores in Georgia, but he's most famous for Comic Shop News. He started Comic Shop News. Super important to all comic fans in the 80s and 90s. So Jack Kirby telling all these stories to these younger guys, Cliff Biggers included. And Bob Kane kind of steps in between Kirby and the kids and tries to talk to Kirby. And Kirby's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm talking. Like Kirby just like lays Bob Kane out because Kirby, like, I don't know if he didn't like Bob Kane or not, but Bob Kane's very like he tried to come off real fancy,
Mm.
like had a weird accent, like a weird, like he was trying to be more than he was. And he'd always rub it in Stanley's face that Batman got a TV show or Batman got a movie, and just
He
kind of
probably made licensing dollars like early. Probably made, you know
yes.
what I mean? So it's a
Hmm.
little bit different.
But it was just for Kirby. It was like, get the fuck out of the way. Like I'm talking here. Kirby must have been hilarious in real life because he's just a real salt of the earth Brooklyn. Was he Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like just a down to earth realist. So I love this like Bob Kane's Batman without Bill Finger. I love it.
Yeah, I dig this. I mean, it's
If
I
it were
think
real, yeah, it's
I feel
it's
like
funny.
that's why I want McFarlane to kind of keep that license because they eventually would maybe get to it. Like if I want the weirder stuff.
I do.
Uh, I almost feel like
Do you believe
this.
this? I almost feel it's fake.
I feel like it's fake too.
I
Like, but
don't.
it was on Matt Reeves,
Yeah, Matt
like
Reeves
Twitter and stuff. Like it was everywhere.
finally finished the script for the Batman 2 or
Part
Batman
two,
2, Part 2,
part two.
and it's like
It's again, and I can't believe that he's allowed to not have this like done. Like it's so just to me, it's like there's so many things on hold, and it's just money just like not being made.
how could you give us such a great Penguin TV show? I don't know. He didn't show run it, but still,
I
like
know it was like a fluke though.
it was a fluke.
It feels like it was a fluke.
But like that TV show was supposed to hold us over to the movie, and now the movie's taken how many years between the two movies? Six,
It's gonna end up
seven?
being like six.
It's
Sorry, my cat's just trying
terrible.
to. Yeah, it's gonna end up being like 6 or 7 years in between.
But
So
meanwhile, James Gunn's trying to build a DC universe, a giant cohesive, and he's got this one thing hanging over his shoulders, like I can't do my Batman, like because
right,
is it gonna be confusing to people? What if his Batman's
yes.
not as good as Matt Reeves' Batman? They're two different Batmans. He wants to do something totally different, you know?
I don't know how people are going to adopt. Like I don't know. I just feel like I feel like they should just combine them. I feel like they should just have
I
that
know
you know
they should combine
how
them.
about that and that.
I don't want that Batman in this DC universe. He just doesn't fit. But like, do you have
Right.
to do it? I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I didn't pull the back of that. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
also did the back of that, which is pretty cool.
that is pretty cool.
I'll take it. What was this? Mark Brooks.
Yeah,
He's
I
still
brought
in the
this
back.
up only because Mark Brooks saying he broke in, like we had discussed this earlier. He broke into the industry doing a bunch of Transformer artwork around the Dreamwave era. Um, and now he's coming back to do something, whether it's a short story, an issue, or covers. Either way, it's pretty awesome. I try for years, and when Mark Brooks was like a nobody, I'd always try to hit him up to try to get him. I want him to draw me War Within, Optimus Prime, the Don Figueroa
Mm.
Cybertronian mode, which I always dug. Um, and he's like, when I finally got a commission from him, he's like, I can't do that. I got Superwoman from the Crime Syndicate, which is pretty awesome. But like,
Right,
he's
right.
like, he was catch me in the right mood, maybe, but that's a lot of work for me to do a commission of. I'm like,
Oh,
I get
wow.
it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't see this. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So Robot Chicken's getting an anniversary special, a 20th anniversary special.
Wow.
They haven't had a season in a couple years, but it's cool. I wish they would do more because I don't know what Seth Green does. Seth Green just like disappeared. I don't know if he's producing or still acting somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, um, I
It's
didn't see this. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
they're bringing back all the Spider-Man movies in the movie theaters this fall.
Didn't they have, or was it Spider-Man 1.5? Didn't
I
they do
forget which
this?
one. I thought they did something. I know there's a horrible scene of J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man costume, which I just
Oh
find
yeah.
atrocious. Because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is like near perfect.
Yeah, I feel like there is something, or was it? No, it might have been Spider-Man 3. There was like a subplot because I think the one girl that was in Death Proof, the girl who does like the lap dance that they cut out of Death Proof,
Right.
like and like that girl was in and she was one MJ's friend and they cut her entire subplot out, I think of the second
So
one.
that girl has bad luck then.
She got bad luck, yeah. So that's because it's karma because you took out the scene that I think was filmed that I think they eventually put out, and it was
Oh, okay.
but it's better in your mind. I think when you see the actual scene, you're like, well, it was better in my mind on the cut. So
I feel like Rodriguez did it better. Because I feel like just cutting out a scene kind of sucked. But like when Rodriguez comes back, it's like a major stuff happened in between,
right, right,
you
right,
know?
yeah, yeah,
But they
yeah. I mean,
address it all.
it's
They address it
right
all, and it's
because they
really
were missing
funny.
a reel. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
missing a reel. So yeah, I don't know. I watched Machete last weekend. I just kind of had it on. Like it's
Yeah.
just like it's so good to just have on and not pay attention to it. Like
hmm
because it's not very good when you watch it for more than like 5 minutes. You're like, this is not very good. So it's good to.
I don't think I saw two.
Is that Machete Kills?
Yeah.
That's what I was
I
watching. I
think.
was watching Machete Kills. That's what
Okay.
I was watching on Tubi.
I,
I
re-
feel like no matter what,
I
everything on
enjoyed the first
Tubi
one.
is it. We watched Overboard the other day. Me and my girlfriend, we watched the Overboard movie with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. And what's so crazy about that movie is that how much she commits, how much fucking Goldie Hawn commits to this like shitty movie.
Right.
It's like so crazy. Like she commits so hard. You're like, it's so into it. And they're so good looking. They're the best looking people. They're so good looking. It's insane.
We
Like,
love them.
yeah,
There are a couple that like we all love.
yeah, yeah. That was super fun. Super fun. Better that, but I feel like again, subscribe to everything. I watch like everything on Tubi. Like that's it. I watch everything that's free. You
Tubi
know.
works, dude. Tubi
Um,
works.
yeah. So, but that's it for me. Stay
What else?
tuned
Then I have a couple
for.
other pictures.
I don't know. Did
Show
it
me.
not come through? I don't know. That's all I got. I got this thing.
This is just something I saw. I'm like, I wish my car could look like a Nintendo system. To me, it's just like I love this. I think it's funny. It's like a Super Nintendo. I think the Japanese version had different colors. I think when it came to America, they just kept it like one solid, like blue and gray.
Right, right.
But in Japan, it was the Super Famicom, I think was the name of it. To me, it
And
was
then
just cute. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's right. I missed that one.
this is neat. A young Frankenstein's getting
How old is Mel Brooks? He's like 100 years old.
he's
How's he doing all these
99
projects?
2 days ago. 2 days ago, he turned 99. So
They better
keep
start
going.
filming his fucking scenes now.
They should,
They better
you
start
know.
filming his baseball scenes. I almost feel like that space movie's not even happening either. I feel like that's fucking bullshit. I feel like they put the trailer out to see what was going on because I know nothing about that. No, nothing. So I feel like that's a tease. Like that's something that they're going to put out. Spaceballs trailer, see what it does, see how many views, see how many things. Like it's like the opposite. It's just like that Street Fighter movie. They're like, we're gonna see how much this generates, and
That's
then
true.
we'll call it.
And then we'll make it. I'm curious. I like what we do in the shadows. I thought it was a really great show. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
Um,
it got too samey for me. Like second season, I just stopped.
oh no, I think it gets better like later because it's just once you're comfortable with all the characters. What's the name? Is it Colin Ferguson? Colin.
He's the energy one, the energy
Yeah.
vampire.
Oh my
That's
God, he's
funny.
just so funny.
That's a funny character.
He is a really good character.
Yeah.
And is it Matt Berry?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's just so good. Like the whole cast is really good. I'm gonna miss that show. You know who else is a big fan of that show? Alan Moore.
Is he really?
Yeah, like he
That's
really
funny.
likes that show.
Alan, I would like to
Oh,
watch the vampires.
Colin Ferguson is my favorite character.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, I
So
you haven't watched Dark Place, right? That's Matt Berry. That's early. That
no,
Garth Marenghi's
no,
Dark
but
Place.
I
It's
need to. It's
on
like
it's on Amazon Prime. It's on
okay,
Amazon Prime now. That's another thing that you can only pay attention to the first two episodes. Everything else can kind of be on the background. Because I've watched that probably twice. That like it just having it on is really fun. But he does a lot of weird stuff. There's a couple of music videos that you may have seen clips of where Matt Berry just starts singing for no reason, and he's in like this whole separate thing. Yeah, his voice is insane. I never watched Toast of London. I always see clips of that.
yeah, you always see something.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. That's on Netflix, I think. So
So that's all. That's it for there's probably news happening right now. Like there's been so much news the past week, and we're in the build up to San Diego, where we're just going to get inundated by a bunch of news.
yeah,
We'll have San Diego specials, Mark.
probably we're on to midweek news.
So
Midweek.
so that's really good. It's a good wrap up to this extra long episode of just news, 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 news.
Yep.
So yeah, everyone, have a good 4th of July. Come back around. We're going to have reviews for last week, reviews for this week.
Mhm.
Um, the people of this earth are great, and there's something special about people, and there's more to them than meets the eye. So we send this out to all those people.
We said it all out.
We are here, and we are waiting.